Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 44 of the Smite Update. My name is Octane Pro, joined by my co-caster here, The Chair, and then we also have Cooper. Cooper, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going good. Fun-filled weekend, so a little tired, but
yeah,
pushing it out.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For
sure.
We do also have, The Chair is no longer I introduced The Chair as my co-host, by the way, F-Dot. Just want to put it out there. I'm like, The Chair,
right.
and also here. But anyways, guys, welcome to the Smite Update. If you guys have not caught this before, this is a casual show, but kind of goes over the scene each week, going over community news, esports update, and then finally a little talk about the recent patch that did come out. We'll go ahead and jump into it. F-Dot, you've been rather busy this week, but what have you been up to in Smite, and what do you got going on?
In Smite, I've just kind of been hanging out. I played a little bit of Smite. I've been so busy, Octane, getting ready for the 200K, because we're up to 200,000, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I've just been running around, like, packing and getting ready. I do leave tomorrow, which is exciting.
Sure.
But, a lot of work behind the scenes. I did, however, get a chance to cast, I called the games for the Tier Monster Code Green last night.
Okay.
Along with, what's his name? I always forget this guy's name because he's a dirtbag. Krett. I cast it alongside with Krett.
Nice.
So it was a lot of fun. Some Tier Monster affiliated, but I love the Code Green tournaments. They're mad fun the way they work. You have really cool, and most of the time balanced games because of the way the teams are made up. So.
Okay, pretty cool. I've actually never had an opportunity to play in any of those tournaments. I always thought it'd be fun.
Should.
It's something fun to do this weekend. Let's go ahead and do that. But it always looks really cool. On the other side here, we do have Cooper. Cooper, what have you been up to this week? I know you've been busy with the tournament.
Oh yeah, the SmiteTube tournaments this weekend obviously were pretty busy since they just got announced on Thursday, so we had 2 days to put 2 tournaments together. But I've been doing the same thing, getting ready for the $200,000 tournament. I mean, packing, making plans, getting off work. To take a week and a half off work, so
yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. I completely hear you. I put in my time off for the tournament, I don't know, a month and a half. It was Tuesday announced it. That day, I went and took the time off, and I was originally only going to take off Friday to Monday, and then I got invited a few weeks back to stay down there Tuesday to Monday, and yes, taking that time off, my boss completely forgot. And on Friday, I was like, hey, just a reminder, I'm going to be out of town for the next 7 days, starting on Tuesday morning. And yes, I've been busy playing Smite as well. Had a great time playing last night. And yeah. So let's go ahead and move into it. As always, guys, the audio version of this podcast is available if you guys are interested on iTunes and also the Android store. Just go ahead and look up Smite Update. If you do go ahead and have an Android platform phone, you will have to download your favorite podcast app. Beyond Pod is the one that I use, and you can go ahead and grab it. And it's something to listen to in the car on your way to work or when you're at work, stuff like that. So check it out, Smite Update, audio-only version. So let's go ahead and jump into our first section of the show, which is community news. And this week we have our Smite official forums actually had gone ahead and broken out and did become available now. Something that we as the community have been asking for so long has made its comeback. There was forums at one point, then disappeared, and now is back. It is up, but it's still in development, so don't judge it quite yet. But you can go ahead and access it at forums.smitegame.com. Have either of you guys had a chance to check that out yet?
I actually haven't got a chance to check it out, Octane. I clicked on it and clicked on esports and put it in my favorites, and I haven't been back.
That's the only spot that matters for you, right?
Frankly, the one reason I'm excited about the forums is so I don't have to wade through everybody and their sister's god idea and skin they dribbled on a napkin. So I'm excited that this category is for
Well, I knew that was definitely one of your pet peeves. When you and I talked about Reddit and the Smite Reddit and stuff like that. Everyone views Reddit differently. Some people love it, some people hate it. For you enjoyed it. It was just that there was a whole bunch of stuff in the way of sort of what you really wanted to check out. Let's put it that way.
I love how you said stuff, because that's how I say stuff. You can tell that we've been doing this for a while now. Octane and me he's my Octane bro.
Octane Bro, that's right.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's just a lot of fluff content, which is
Yeah.
you know, I'm the arrogant esports guy. I get it, but in real life, like, you know, the fluff is cool if you're into it, and I don't denounce that stuff. It's just that I really could. There is nothing I am less interested in than hearing like Mary's new idea for a new hunter. Like, I just don't care.
Mary,
I
Mary.
really don't. But you know, so I'm excited about the forums.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Reddit will still be powerful. Reddit will still
Sure.
be a big part of the community, and it will still be like a prominent something to notice. But the forums should see a lot of traffic for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, without a doubt. And then Cooper, have you had a chance to check out the forums?
Yeah, actually the first day, I think it was Flareboot who actually like announced that they were out. He's like, they're up, and they weren't actually up. So that happened. But yeah, I mean the back end was up. I made an account, and I noticed that back from the old forums, everything's pretty much the same except for the look. Like
Yeah.
the back end system and the coding of how everything's handled and the avatars and how profiles are made. They didn't do much improvements on them.
Sure.
It's pretty much the same system. I don't know if they plan on rewriting that code or not, but it's still pretty much the general feel as if you were on the old forums. Obviously, the new badass, look of Smite is on the forums, so that's better. But as far as the posts go on it, it's a lot better. I mean, I agree with F. completely. I really don't care about the 9,000 posts about the $30,000 gems that Bart's already retweeted. And we just need to go through one thing, find what I'm looking for, and then that's it. And then I'm off.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'm on Reddit and I just scroll and then I'm off like 5 seconds later because there's nothing interesting.
Yeah,
I mean.
No, go for it. What do you got? What do you got?
Like every morning on what's it called, first period, I like to take a look at. I always open up looking at my Twitter. And I like to take a look down the Smite subreddit. And I'm always like, all right, 3 garbage ideas for a new god, 3 garbage ideas for a new skin. Somebody asking for domination, somebody asking for a purple skin, somebody asking for classic skins. Here's a good post about why Loki mathematically likes Hydra's Lament, and some more garbage posts. So like. Like I said, for those people that like that sort of content, good for you. I am going to be the arrogant donkey that just doesn't like that sort of content.
It's all good, and I'm so happy we have forums now, which works out well. And the only thing that I found with the forums is, and this was posted by Stu actually, and I'll read this out real quick and then discuss it. He says, in order to log into the forums, you must use a high-res master account that was created a player record in Smite. That is a valid one through Smite that actually played Smite at least once. Now, if you guys take a look at the forums, did you guys have trouble getting logged into the forums at all?
It's the Fort Knox of gaming.
Yes.
It's so. It took me like 20 minutes at work, and I swear I didn't get all my work done on Friday because I was trying to figure out how to log into the forums.
Correct.
And finally, I found the spot, and I'm like, oh, I just click this, and it made me an account. So
yeah, I mean, I understand
like
the way that databases work and the integration and stuff like that, but I should be able to hit sign in and sign in with my Smite credentials, and I'm done. When in reality, it took me the same thing that you had, but then every time I went into my master account and clicked create forum account, I would click that and it would take me back to the forums, but I wouldn't be logged in yet. So I was in this constant loop. How do I get out of this? I just want to log into my account, and it literally took me way too long to get it working. What are you doing over there?
I've never played Smite. I just tried to log in with my email and password, and they say, "Well, hello there. We see that you were trying to create a forum account, but unfortunately, we cannot find a Smite IGN."
Well, that's not where you log in. That's not where you log in, bro. You have to log into the high-res website, then go, and in your account, you have to go. There's a certain tab you have to go to.
It's games.
Games.
Go to the games tab.
Yes.
I clicked log in, and okay, even if this is the incorrect place for me to log in, it's telling me I don't have a Smite name. Yes. I have 3 legendaries. I've definitely played this game. Yes. Oh my god, I'm aggravated, Octane.
Yes, and so that the forums are great, and those of you guys that check out the SmiteUpdate before, I will tell you, there's no fluff on our show. We're gonna say where stuff needs improvement. and where we hope to see things go. The forums are awesome. They're still under development. The sign-in process needs to be perfected. It's not quite there yet. I just wanted to bring it up to explain to people in chat. If you're having frustrating issues, so are we. We completely understand. You have to go into your high-res. So go to the high-res website, log in on the high-res website, go into your account, go into games, go into create forum name, then you'll go ahead and be ported over. So then it goes ahead and takes your name and ports it over to the forums. What is he whispering about? What is he whispering about? I don't understand.
I went to the high-res side. I went to Smite, under games. I clicked that's what I'm like trying to figure out.
See, Justice Cooper said it's the Fort Knox. It's the Fort Knox. I completely understand.
Okay. Apparently my master account is X420 no scope. This is definitely not my account. What is going on?
Are you hacking Hi-Res's database? What are you doing over there?
This is not my account. I am not 420 no scope. That's an awesome name, and I really wish I had it. But
yeah, it would be a little better than F dot. Like, what is that all about? All right. So let's move past the forums and on to our second thing of community news that we do have going on. Other thing we do have is Hi-Res came out with a really, really good video, Road to Release. It's the Dev Diary. If you guys have not checked it out yet, I will link it in chat. I think everybody who plays Smite should definitely check it out and watch it. There's a lot of stuff actually in it that I wasn't familiar with in regards to like how Smite ended up coming about, how it was originally built off of the Global Agenda AI system, and the characters from the game, and how a lot of that was ported over, and how the really, really early stages of Smite. So it was really cool to see that. Our man F. Dot made an appearance in it, so that was cool, you know. Little celebrity highlight there, you know. How about that? Your suit looked awesome, by the way, in that video.
Okay. Yo, no it didn't, all right? Yo, here's the thing. You know me. I like to look nice. I like to look like a drug lord. And the one time I experimented with a different... I traditionally go either half Windsor or Pratt, but this one time I used a double Pratt, and it was, like, big, and I looked like I was selling used cars, and I didn't like the look. That's the screenshot they took, Octane. The one time I tried something different, I looked like a wiener, and they put it in the dev diary that millions of people are going to look at. Thanks.
Yep, you're welcome. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Cooper, what'd you think of the video?
Oh, I love it.
No, it was fantastic. I mean, it wasn't even really like announced that something was going to come out. It just got popped up and advertised. But I mean, even if you were someone like me, F Dot, or you, Octane, that's been around forever, you always heard that, you know, the game generally came from Global Agenda. It was a port from it, and then, you know, they made it into the own game. But what they explained in that video, no one knew about. I mean, no one. And it was really cool to hear that information and see exactly how it led up to now. I mean, such a big esport, you know, $200,000 tournament from a simple jetpack game that was so unbalanced probably that it would never become anything, and now we're running tournaments every week for it. It was really cool to see, and it was a big picture of things that I got out of it. You know, it wasn't just a video of how Smite became Smite, it was the bigger picture, and that's now we're an esport from what it used to be.
Yeah, no, it was definitely really, really cool. It was a lot of stuff I learned from it. And it was funny because I was talking to somebody from Hi-Res. I won't mention like who exactly, but I was like, hey, did you guys have an outside company come in and do this? And they were like, oh, no, we did it. And I was like, really? Because I was actually rather impressed by the video quality in regards to the production of the video. It wasn't something we see with like a lot of the high-res videos that come out. And so I thought the production level of it was really, really good. So I was really pleased by it. But I thought it was kind of funny that they were like, no. We had one guy do it in-house, and it was his like sole responsibility. So that's pretty cool to see because that quality was excellent.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot of videos come out since probably the weekly tournaments for the 100K started, 200K started.
Yeah.
But ever since that production level went up, Hi-Res has been incredible with everything they've done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, production's really gone up, and I'm excited to see what they're doing on Tuesday.
Yeah, I agree. The production that we're seeing on Hi-Res is so dope. Like, production quality is one of those things that, you know, people... I don't think people like discount it, or I think it just doesn't enter the mind of many people. But when you see poor production value versus high production value, you like subconsciously almost recognize and respect in a different way. You know, when you watch, you'll watch like a high school basketball game on like your local channel, and you'll be like, oh, like this is cool, and then you watch, you know, the NBA, and you're like,
Holy,
oh, this is legit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and so that's definitely interesting, and I think that's the way to go. If you take a look at the LCS. HBO. LCS, of course, is League of Legends,
Yeah.
the League Championship Series. HBO was a sponsor for the LCS this week.
Wow.
They had like an exclusive look at the new Throne of Thunder. I was gonna say, wow, Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Like they had an exclusive look. Like that's so cool. And you want to know what? HBO doesn't sponsor like my little YouTube vlog that I made in MS Paint. You know, HBO is not going to sponsor Krett's Corner with like our like 2-minute overlay done in MS Paint. They recognize, and that's a broader paintbrush of which the production value is stroked with, is, you know, you gain the attention of people that matter when you look more pristine. And the LCS presents a wonderful program with graphics that rival ESPN, and that's not the only reason, but that's why that people like American Express, Coca-Cola, HBO come out and say, maybe we should give these guys a bunch of money because people are watching it.
Yeah.
Like, it's respectable, and a company like American Express won't tarnish their own brand by putting their name on something that looks like that.
Sure,
so it's
sure.
Smite going in that direction, because it's not, the world is, unfortunately, it's not all just content, it's also how you look.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Smite could be the coolest game in the world, but, you know, if the graphics are made in MS Paint, it doesn't matter. Nobody's helping you out. But as we continue this trend, you know, in the future, we can look to things like having HBO, American Express, Visa, etc. sponsor our stuff in the future. So it excites me for the sort of like butterfly effect that we're starting just by putting a little extra effort into graphics.
Dude, what's wrong with MS Paint? I made this overlay you guys see here in MS Paint. I mean, come on now.
It's the only program I know how to use, to be honest.
But yeah, no, production's a big deal, and we've seen Hi-Res Studios with just their esports specifically, but they've done it all over the place, though. Do a ton with the esports scene, especially if you've looked at the production value in the past several. I'd say about the last few months, like every week it's been something different and overhauled, and a huge benefit that we've seen, and we've talked about it on the show several times, how this week we've seen this, then the next week we see this, and I'm really excited to see like what the production value is of these weekly tournaments like 6 months down the road. I think even the Smite launch event that'll be coming up, or the tournament that'll be coming up next Friday, I think it's going to be amazing, or this upcoming Friday, I'm sorry. I think it's going to be amazing to see what the production quality is compared to what we've seen not only at past events, but also past streamed esports events. So as a reminder, guys, as we go through the show, if you guys want to submit a question or you have a comment for the host, go ahead and send it to ask.fm/SmiteUpdate. It's right in the middle of the screen, directly below my webcam portrait, and we'll be doing a long session at the end of the show going over that, so make sure that you guys check that out. Jumping into our next topic of discussion for today, we saw just within the last hour that Hi-Res Studios announced that they're bringing on community caster, and I guess you could call him community celebrity if you want. Drybear is joining the ranks of Hi-Res Studios. I'll put a link in chat to the Reddit post that was made directly from Hi-Res Todd, saying, "We are pleased to announce that Drybear will be joining Hi-Res as a full-time employee after the launch tournament in Atlanta. In addition to shoutcasting, Drybear, also known as Rory, will help the community and will be responsible for moderating the new Smite forums." So just as we talked about before, those are under development, but definitely something we're going to see here. He will be moving to Atlanta, but remotely moderating the forums starting this week. So congratulations to Drybear. I don't think anyone here, either of you, is surprised by Hi-Res Studios bringing him on.
It's going to happen sooner or later. I thought it was actually going to happen a lot sooner than it did now, but, I mean, congratulations, man. Good luck, and no one deserves it more than him, really.
Yeah,
for
sure. I've been working with Drybear for a long time with Tier Monster. I mean, Drybear is the entire reason I am, you know, again, butterfly effect. Like, sure, I probably could have done things on my own because I'm the best, but Dry Bear really helped me out. Like, you know, including me in Tier Monster, just giving me a shot. You know, like, once upon a time, I got an email saying, look, bud, it might work out, it might not. You can stream at 7 in the morning. It's the only slot we got. If you can't wake up, I'm kicking you off. We'll see. And, like, you know, now I'm on Smite game next to the celebrity that is Octane Pro. So,
celebrity.
It's
more like oh, I know. It's more like the way Cooper put it. Octane, who's been around forever, as you said earlier. So yes, I'm the old man.
No, like I have been working with Dry Bear, and you know, Rory's just such a good guy, and it's just such a good opportunity for both of these people. I want to see Rory succeed in all aspects of life because the man just freaking deserves it. Like, you could, like, I'm passionate about it. Like, the dude is just a cool guy, and Hi-Rez is going to benefit as well by having such a, you know, Dry Bear. Everybody has their faults, but one thing that he doesn't fault at is community interaction and the way he handles himself with people. I'm surprised the man doesn't have a PR degree because he's just so, like, princess-like when it comes to that stuff.
Sure.
So, you know, 10 points to Hi-Rez for, you know, finding the community member that's going to help. Not just, like, so this impresses me for 2 reasons, as I'll get off my Dry Bear soapbox.
Sure.
But, you know, yeah, congratulations to Dry Bear. You know, it shows 2 things for me. A, Hi-Rez has the ability to, like, notice good people and put their personnel resources in the right spot.
Sure.
But more importantly, it also shows that Hi-Rez is very into the community. You know, he's very Hi-Rez is very into, like, hey, Dry Bear legitimately just is like you and me. He makes videos that people watch and he streams Smite. And you know, they Hi-Rez flew down. Well, I don't know if they flew down. Hi-Rez invited DM Brandon and Dry Bear a couple months ago to just come visit because they're prominent members of the community. Hi-Rez APC was a prominent member of the Tribes community, and that's how he got his job one way or through one reason or another. So, like, I love the fact that Hi-Rez is so involved with their own community, and it really impresses me that they kind of it sort of feels like when a company promotes from within.
For sure.
Companies like Panera Bread do that, and that really impresses me because it shows, like, a feeling. You know, the coach F. Dot's going to come out real quick, but, like, you know, the culture of family and team building and all sorts of that and that type of mentality is great for building a team and a company. And when you're a video game company that's trying to do what Hi-Rez is doing, you need to be more than just a company. You need to be a family and a team.
Yeah.
And when you're promoting from within the community that loves your game, it just impresses me, and it fills me with good ideas of the mentality behind the company that makes the game that we love. So I'm just impressed all across the board.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I mean, just as you had talked about, you know, they look at, I mean, just look at like Hi-Rez Kelly. You know, Kelly was involved, started streaming Smite. They brought her on as well. It's just like with APC, with Tribes. I think it's cool that they look at it. So if you're somebody that's looking to get into just the gaming industry, you know, keep note that a lot of these publishers out there, especially Hi-Rez, you know, they're definitely one that keeps an eye out there. And like when you say higher, you know, within meaning the community. So pretty cool for sure. Moving on for some stuff going on this upcoming week. If you guys have forgotten or just getting into contact with it, we have the Games Vid Expo, which is going to be going on at the same time as the Smite launch tournament. So if you guys are in town and want to check out one or the other, I did link in chat. It's gamevidexpo.com. Make sure that you guys go ahead and check that out. I will not have a chance, I don't think, to get over there. I don't think you will either, F. Dot, or you, Cooper. But no. I think it'll be pretty cool from everything I've seen. Just a lot of the YouTube personalities that they are going to have there. And you know, it's pretty nifty to see what they're doing there with YouTube and streamers, with the different panels and meet and greets and stuff like that. So I think it'll be good if you're thinking about getting into YouTube videos or thinking about getting into streaming. This is definitely an outlet. I mean, these people that are going to be there are the people that literally make YouTube videos and stream for a living. So if that's what you're looking to do, I would go. I would learn something. I would talk to these people. And it'd be very good to find out because I think it's very common in the scene right now where people go, okay, I graduated high school, I'm not going to go to college, I want to start streaming, and they start streaming and they get like 2 or 3 viewers and they're like, I don't understand, why is it this easy, like what's going on? Well, you know, there's definitely a lot
Dude, everybody starts there, and
Yep.
I don't hate the people with 2 viewers. I was a person that had 2 viewers once upon.
Yep.
I mean, I still get
sure.
like 20.
Yeah.
Like I'm not no Mr. Big Streamer, but like it's the dudes that, and this is off topic, of course.
No,
but that's what this
there's
show
no
is
off
about.
topic. Come on now.
It's the dudes that have 3 people watching, and you know they're like, it's because I'm not a pretty girl. It's because I'm not a pro. It's everyone's fault but my own. And in reality, this is what their stream looks like. And they don't say a thing. They play Diablo 1 for 7 hours, breathing into their microphone.
Like you
and,
do.
The camera's like off kilter, and they're like... And like one person comes in chat and they're like, hey bud, what's going on? And they're like not even paying attention. Like, that's why you have 2 viewers, homie. Like, you know, so like I said, shout out to everybody out there. Like I recently watched I love to click on Smite. Like it's a Smite game playing Smite.
Sure.
I love to click on Smite and scroll all the way down.
Yeah.
And look at who's... And I ran into this one guy. I really wish I remembered his name, so I'm so horrible with this. But I ran into this one guy. He had 1 viewer. It was himself and Nightbot.
Okay.
And he was, like, talking as if he's like, this is what I'm going to do right here. He was just talking like he had...
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's so good. Like, it's just so quality. And that's how you got to do it. And I'm going to find this dude's name, and I'll be surprised if he doesn't have a following later on. Like,
that's right.
Because that's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just expect, like, well, I'm streaming now, everybody got to watch me and donate money.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how it works. It's actually... You actually got to work for it, so...
Well, no, for sure. And I mean, I think that's something, you know, if you're looking to get into streaming, if you're looking to monetize it and make YouTube videos your income, like, it's definitely viable. Without a doubt, there's definitely a way to make a career out of it. But I think going to the GamesVid Expo, talking to these people, you'd be very surprised. I think you would learn a lot. I mean, I think all 3 of us here would learn a ton. I think anybody would learn, even if you're really good. Like, everyone would learn something. And so I would encourage you, if that's something you're looking to do, to go ahead, check it out. Once again, the website is gamevidexpo.com, so please go out there, check that out. Moving on here to our next topic of discussion. Finally, we have the Smite launch tournament details. This will be the last thing in the discussion here for the community section. This is pretty much our baby, the 3 of us here. We will be here. We're really excited. F. said he's heading down tomorrow, actually. What time does your flight head out? You leaving now? I hope you know what time your flight leaves tomorrow, bro.
No,
I really do.
My flight, I get into Atlanta. I leave out of New York. Well, obviously New York. I leave out of New York at 1.
Okay.
Dude, I wear a New York hat. A New York jersey's behind me.
You hear that voice? You hear that voice? Come on now. You can
and every now and then,
York.
I forget the letter R exists.
New
So
York.
I'm pretty sure, you know. But I leave out of New York at 1, and it's, you know, a straight shot to Atlanta. So I get there around 3. I'm gonna force probably like High-Res Josh to like pick me up in his car or something.
Nice. What about you, Cooper? When do you fly down?
I leave Tuesday from Florida, so I only have about an hour flight.
Wow.
And I get in around 1 o'clock.
Oh,
so
sweet.
from there, I'm just gonna take public transportation to the hotel.
Sweet. There you go. I will be flying out. I'm flying out of Baltimore at 7:50, which means my butt has to get out of bed at 4 a.m. on Tuesday. Drive an hour and a half. Dude, you're not even up that early. Be quiet. You're going to be still sleeping in your hotel room at 4 a.m.
I'm going to be chilling. I'm going to be reading a book.
I'm going to be like, somebody give me F.'s hotel room so I can go bang on his door. So anyways, I fly out at 7:50 from Baltimore. I'll be in Atlanta around 9:50. So while F.'s sitting there eating his breakfast, drinking his coffee, you know, I'll be showing up. But anyways, those of you guys not familiar, we have the Smite launch tournament coming up. Several people, just like ourselves, are heading down early, working with High-Res on some of the setup, rehearsal, and working down there. Right now, if you guys go over, I'll put the link in chat if you guys haven't checked it out yet. You will see that they actually have up on there aiming for 225, but right now it's over 200,000. We hit it the other day. If you guys are looking to add to the prize pool, you can go ahead and buy your Poolside t-shirt. I actually just got mine the other day.
Looks great under a blazer.
Yeah. Did you get it? Did you get it? You gonna be that guy?
I did.
Yeah.
No. I actually no. On the real, just
Okay.
like the Poolside skin. I don't play pool. I don't play Poseidon. I still bought it.
Yeah.
I will most likely not wear this T-shirt, but I purchased it.
Cooper, did you buy the t-shirt?
I didn't. I meant
Wow.
to. I was going to, but my pay cycles didn't match up,
Your
and I
pay
figured I
cycles.
wouldn't get it. I wouldn't get it by the time I was leaving. So
What do we
figured,
buy? What are we
no,
putting a down
it's
payment on
not.
our car? My pay cycles didn't work out. I couldn't put out the $20 for the shirt.
Yeah, well, moving into a new apartment, $20 is
No,
like,
hey, Octane. I know Cooper's new to the show, but come on, man, the struggle. We can't all have a 9 to 5, Octane. We can't all have a
Dude,
9 to 5.
I wish. You know what? I'm in that situation where I have a 9 to 5. Actually, it's a 7 to 5, and I wish I didn't. It's one of those situations. I wish I didn't.
Ooh, I have money. Ooh.
Oh, don't listen to this guy. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Anyways, moving on, you can also go ahead and buy the skin in game for the Poolside, and you can also buy the icon pack, which I think all that ends like on Tuesday. So make sure you guys go ahead and make sure you guys get that. Let's go ahead and see that. Furthermore, location, Center Stage Theater in Atlanta. This place looks amazing. Like amazing. They got 2 stages there. Along with that, they have almost like 2 bars from what I've seen as well. And this is actually where it's not private, so I can say they're hosting a party on Saturday night at this event as well, the Center Stage Theater. So it's pretty cool. Check it out. Look it up. It's on West Peachtree Street in Atlanta. Make sure you guys definitely check that out. So if you guys aren't familiar, Friday, the main event, the upper brackets start at noon. That's Eastern, guys. Those of you guys that are West Coast or across the pond there. This is noon EST. That is on Friday. It doesn't say what time that goes till. Probably pretty late, I would think. Saturday, main event starts at 9 a.m., showing the lower brackets. 4 o'clock p.m., the upper brackets. And at 7 p.m., they're going to have the Gods and Goddesses contest, which will be pretty cool, the cosplay contest. Then finally on Sunday, the main event, the lower brackets start at 11 a.m. At 2 p.m., we have a Smite celebrity show match. And F. You'll be in that, right? As a celebrity, you'll be in that? Yeah? Yeah. And moving on from there, finally, the grand finals will be at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Sunday. So make sure you guys check that out. All the information is on Hi-Res's website. They have a nice little link for everything you guys need to know about the event. So let's go ahead and move on to our esports section. We did have this week we did have a weekly tournament. Previous weeks we had the cognitive tournament. We also had the Dignitas. Dignitas? No, what was it? What was for cognitive? The tournament.
Dignitas.
Yes, it was Dignitas.
It was Dignitas. Okay, I was right. Okay, should doubt myself. So we had the Dignitas Cup in there. You had the cognitive, and then this weekend we actually had SmiteTube, and Cooper is actually one of the individuals that runs the SmiteTube organization there, and so we had a chance to bring him on today. And so you found out you got everything started on Thursday then, Cooper, was when I guess SmiteTube kind of kicked it into gear to get things prepped for this weekend. Just briefly, let people know at home, what are some of the things that people might not realize all that's involved with prepping an online tournament like this?
Well, there's all the basics. You got to have your admins, your casters, but the problem is really figuring out which one's going to do which one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had to, basically, there was all the casters for, the good, I'm not going to say good casters, the usual casters is what I had meant. Not a hit on any of the casters that casted this weekend, but the usual casters that people know and love, they were not available this weekend at all, and that's understandable. So you had to basically kind of piece together casters, and luckily Krett and Demon Machine were available, and Compaz and Shadowboy Gaming, they were also available, and they did phenomenal. I think they were great. They handled themselves well. But you kind of have to, without knowing anyone's personality, try and match up who's going to do the best job with who.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that isn't quite good. Demon Machine and Krett may have the worst chemistry ever because Krett is just a jerk, and you have no idea what's going to happen.
I support that.
So you never know. And Demon Machine, he used to cast a lot, but he was a little rusty, and he definitely improved as the stream went on.
Yeah.
So that's the toughest part is, you know, you can certainly throw names out there and say, hey, guys, you want to run the tournament this weekend? Well, sure. But it's actually putting it all together and getting them to know what they're doing. And once they get going, it's a little easier. But it's the initial start that's the hardest.
Sure, for sure. And those people that don't know, you know, I'll let you explain it, Cooper. What exactly is SmiteTube? You know, people knew Cognitive is one of the esports teams. Same thing with Dignitas. This time we actually had, you know, it wasn't necessarily a competitive team, but more of a Smite organization. So just tell the fine folks at home, if they don't know what SmiteTube is, what exactly they can find there.
Yeah, if you go to www.SmiteTube.com, it basically is just a site providing content for anything Smite. It can be videos, in-depth articles, reviews, just basic news that's released on the Reddit. We'll have articles on there posting about that and giving our take on it. We have several really good writers on there. What we're doing before the 100K tournament is actually starting, which is Friday. We're going to be doing in-depth analysis of all the teams and basically what their chances are on winning the $200,000 tournament. We already did an article for Denial and one for Dignitas, and I believe tomorrow is actually for, you know, the 434 viewers watching, a little sneak peek. It's going to be Snipe tomorrow.
Oh,
So
okay,
get
cool.
In-depth analysis for Snipe, what their players are about, and exactly what they're going to bring to the $200,000 tournament. And we'll do that for the other 7 teams as well, or 5 teams as well.
Yeah.
And that'll be all released before Friday. So, you know, it's just a site to get some good news, anything, creative articles, things like that. If you don't feel like going to the Reddit and, like F. said earlier, fishing through all the scum chat, then head on over there and you'll be good to go.
Sweet. Excellent.
I just have to applaud. I was telling Coop about my experience on SmiteTube before we went on air. I absolutely love what SmiteTube's doing with in-depth articles. You saw me clapping before. You know, like there's a lot of content on SmiteTube, and one of the things that I really focus on were the writing pieces. You guys know me and how I am with sports, and one of my favorite sports sites is Grantland.com, and they do other stuff besides sports. But what happens is when you look at, you know, the average sports article is, you know, the Spurs won last night. Tim Duncan slam dunked. The other people lost. Thank you. You know, what you find on Grantland is similar to what you find on SmiteTube. It's these in-depth articles, you know. Why have the Spurs won for 18 why what?
Yep.
Well, it's the psychology, it's the family, it's the culture, this and the third. And that's what I saw with the Dignitas article. I like that a little better. But it's the idea behind it. And there's, you know, you don't come out and like write it. It was a new writer, if I'm not mistaken, with the Denial article. It was very well written, which it was cool. It was a great conversation piece, and that's what those types of articles should be. They started saying, like, this is what Denial does. This is what they're known for.
Mm-hmm.
In-depth, long read. That's what I want from that's what I want from my Smite writers. I don't want tournament recaps in the sense that, like, here are the 10 people that fought. This was the win condition, and the Titan died. Like,
yeah.
I'm so done with that. I did that myself for a while, and I tried to switch it up. You know, I tried to get a little lengthy with things.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it just, you know, it's not enough. And I'm super happy that SmiteTube is bringing something to the table like that, because nobody else out there is quite doing that. Nobody has that type of content out. So I'm super happy at what you're doing with SmiteTube, Coop, and I want everybody to, like, go read those articles, because that's how you get more. You get people to read them, and then, you know, one kid out of a million is like, hey, you know, I don't agree with this, and then he writes his own article, and that's where you breed a beautiful community. Once again, the butterfly effect.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, F. and I talked about this at one point some time back about articles out there, and, you know, we're looking for, you know, it's definitely important to look for a writer that has, you know, is completely unbiased but objective. That is going to say it how it is. You know, don't fluff it up or anything like that. Like, hey, if COG played like garbage, you know, call them out on it. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And then at the same time, also has the analytical side of it. You know, we enjoy facts, we enjoy stats, we enjoy, you know, the math. So I think a lot of that is super important, for sure. So taking a look at the results this weekend on the North American side. We actually had Dignitas over Cognitive 2-1 in the grand finals. I was actually rather shocked, to be honest with you. I mean, F. was not, he told me before the show, not surprised on the results. For me, I was surprised because Dignitas has definitely been in a slump for a while, I felt, and when I saw the event, I did have a chance. I don't usually have a chance to watch the weekend tournaments, but I did have a chance this weekend, and it's really important, I feel like, that Dignitas did win over COG because we're like a week away from the launch tournament for 200 grand, and to have a little twist here going on in the scene where all of a sudden you see Dignitas starting to turn on man mode right there. I think is really important because I think that makes a lot of people, if we went back a few weeks ago, I had talked about several on the show. I had asked people, hey, what are your thoughts about the grand finals? And some people were, COG versus TSM or COG versus Cloud9. I don't think anyone saw, Dignitas all of a sudden several weeks back doing as well as they're doing. So I'll throw it to both you guys here. F.'s got some comments to make, so I'm going to go to Cooper first because I know we're going to be here a while. Cooper, what are your thoughts on the results, at least for the North American side? Cooper, turn on your mic, bro.
Mic's muted.
There we go.
Okay, all right, perfect. All right.
Yo, he's laughing. Okay,
All
he's
right.
not laughing at you. He's laughing at the fact that it was you
I
and
know.
not him.
See, I muted it so I could cough, and then I didn't know which one was the mute or not. So I'm sitting there flipping it up and down. But as far as the comments go, I think it got into people's heads a little bit that Cognitive won 8 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
I think that kind of formed people's opinions for them. And they didn't actually look at how close the games were during those 8 weeks and exactly what the other teams were doing. But as far as this particular week goes, I would have been surprised. I would have used the word surprised if Denial or Snipe won.
Yeah, for sure.
But as far as Dignitas goes, the word surprising comes with how dominant they were.
Mm-hmm.
I did skip the second game where Cognitive ended up tying it up in the best of 3 series, but Dignitas in that third game, they commanded the lead. Lassus was on his game this weekend. I watched all their games being streamed this weekend, and he was just a force to be reckoned with. He brought Athena back in the jungle. He did incredible, and I think you're going to see that Lassus at the $200,000 tournament. You're going to see the Lassus that is back to, hey, I'm Lassus, and you're not going to come in my jungle, and if you do, you're going to die. And I'm going to be the one that pushes my team into victory.
Yeah, their rotations were spot on. If you guys went back and watched those games, they were spot on. The lane rotations were there. The team communication was there. It was impressive. It was like going back and watching the Root vs. Curse days, and it was like, wow, these teams are spot on. Now, let's go ahead and allow the floodgates to open because I believe Mr. F. has a comment to make about Dignitas surprising all of us.
Yeah, no, I just... Damn, Cooper, why don't you do more stuff like this? You're 100% spot on with your analysis. All the people that just say that Dignitas and Cognitive are in completely different leagues, what the hell games have you been watching? Dignitas loses to Cog sometimes, and when they lose to Cog, it's damn close. Dignitas is talented as hell, and Michael Jordan went into slumps. Babe Ruth went into slumps. The best of the best have gone into slumps. And Laz's, no disrespect to him, month ago, totally pooped the bed. Was not there, was not the Laz's we're used to seeing. And once upon a time, it was Laz's or Shing, who's the best jungler in the world? You know? And it seems like everybody has a 5-minute memory and just forgot what Laz's can do. He tried to learn a god in competitive and kind of didn't do well when it didn't matter. It didn't matter when he was those games were so inconsequential. Now that they're really practicing for the 200, now it matters. Now he's back. And I love to see Laz's. Laz's playing Athena is one of my favorite things in competitive Smite, Octane and Coop. It's just one of my favorite things to watch, the play style that he brings to the table, and I'm just he's so talented, and people just forgot. Like Coop said, what are you watching? They're so close. What are you watching if you think that one team is dominant over another? I think Dignitas and COG can split their games every single time they play. I think Dignitas and COG are a lot closer in skill level and chemistry level than a lot of people actually think, and I wasn't surprised at all to see Dignitas win. I was just, Dig won. that makes sense. It's Dignitas. Like, if one of the lower teams in the bracket had won, like Coop said, I just have to reiterate, Cooper hit the nail on the head, to use a Krettism. Just like, bam, really hammered it down. Everything, just Dignitas is there. Don't forget about them. And I implore you to watch VODs from 3 months ago when Laz's was just making everyone feel bad. Like, so I'm happy whenever I'm just happy to watch competitive Smite. The broadcaster platitude is I don't root for teams, I root for overtimes. And in this case, I just root for exciting Smite.
Yeah. And
Laz is in the jungle performing at his top caliber against one of the best teams in the world of cognitive gaming. That's a recipe for exciting Smite. So no, I was not surprised. I was very happy.
Okay, for sure. Moving on there, today we actually had the SmiteTube Battle for Olympus EU tournament, and we did go ahead and have Cloud9 versus TSM in the finals. Once again, a 1-to-1 combination going into the third game, and we did have Cloud9 come out on top. So I know Cloud9 and TSM have been rivals back and forth in the EU scene for quite some time now, especially during the qualifiers, and now we're seeing Cloud9 be victorious there. So once again, I mean, just to reiterate there, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on these players right now moving into, the 200,000. Granted, this weekend doesn't factor in any for the 200,000, when it comes down to the prize pool, but it is a big deal. I mean, it sets the mindset to be able to say, okay, I won the week before's tournament. It's Cloud9. I mean, it's pretty good, pretty impressive. I mean, I think we have a lot to look forward to this next week. The biggest being just the EU versus NA rivalries that are going to occur. I mean, it's pretty cool to see the first few games that we do see coming out on Friday being NA versus EU for sure. I know F.Dot's so happy about the chat right now, but, just throwing it out there, right, bro?
Yeah, I'm all about community interaction. One of our viewers play basketball.
Oh, look! Oh, that's so exciting! That's so exciting. I mean, what do you have to say, Cooper? You had a comment.
Yeah, I do want to say about the EU tournament today. When you look at the brackets, there actually is something surprising, and there's kind of a both ways to it. Is SK Gaming got dropped in the first round? They got dropped to Team Spray, and I don't know all the members on Team Spray. And I did watch the game a little bit. Of course, I was busy trying to manage some things, but this could really go either way. I understand this is just a couple days. It was kind of like a last hurrah tournament. Get your final little practices in. But for SK Gaming, a team that's kind of already at the bottom of the pool, could be considered in the EU scene out of the top 4 teams. To lose in the first round, what is it going to do to their morale going into the 100K? I'm sure they're probably going to still put out a strong performance, and anything can happen. But losing that early on, it's got to do something to the team and really make them rethink some of the things that they were going into the 200K that they tried this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, a lot of performance, everything like that is a big deal. Skill sets a lot, but your morale, the psychological side of things with any sport, especially with something like Smite here, as we're talking about, it does take a factor, and it's super important, and it's going to play a big role when we see these teams getting up on stage playing in front of a couple hundred people online, a couple thousand people. So I think it's a real big deal. Now I'm waiting for the sports analogy. F.Dot, do you have a sports analogy here? No, you fresh out?
I mean, it's not. It's not analogous because it just is.
It just is.
There's no metaphor when it is what it is.
Okay.
Like, your team got booted early in an exhibition match.
Yeah.
So, the mindset of these teams going into the SmiteTube, the Alienware, the Cognitive, the Dignitas, whoever's sponsoring these tournaments, these are very much exhibition matches. Yes, you want to win. It is money in your pocket, and it's important to note that these professional teams aren't. They're not salaried. They do winning earnings are important to these teams.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, everybody is thinking about the $200,000 paycheck.
Yep.
So those are the games that matter. And while competitive practice is the best practice, these are just exhibition matches. So when losing, also not to discount Team Spray. Team Spray has a lot of talented players, whether they be ex-professionals like Sprayarn, who played for Reason Gaming.
Okay.
or just high-ranked EU players. I know Sausage is pretty good. Like, he does dumb things like play Anubis, but he's pretty good. So that team is talented, and they are comparable to the Down to Frag. Okay, they're that level. Like DJ Pernicus is like super high level ranked, and he's an ex-pro Counter-Strike player. Sprayarn is ex-pro Smite, and all of them are high level ranked. So they're very comparable to Down to Frag. Completely different teams, cultures, and mindsets, but just in where they lie. Like they're capable of beating out the big dogs, and that's not. It'd still be an upset, but they're closer in skill level 100%. So SK, I didn't catch the SK game.
Okay.
I don't know how they were playing or what they did, but I'd be interested to watch the replay of it and see why exactly, because there's always a bigger story than just they got kicked out. It depends on what plays they ran, what strategies came out, how they did certain things, etc. And you could really tell like how you could gauge what they were trying to do. And that's the bigger conversation in these exhibition games. What actually went down on the battlefield as opposed to just the win-loss column. So SK, I don't think it's not something that you can feel down about, especially, in, like I said, an exhibition match. You can't really feel down about it as long as you feel that you played well and you got your money's worth for practice. That's what it's all about. And these teams are much this is a Sunday match, and a lot of these teams are coming down. What is it, the 23rd?
Yep.
A lot of the Europeans are coming to America in 2 days. I'm pretty sure they had other things on their mind than
just a little bit
tournament. Yeah, like, the weekly tournament, and it was a great tournament. No disrespect to SmiteTube, but there's no seed points.
Yeah.
There's no implications for the future. So I'm sure that other things were running through their mind. As opposed to Spray, these kids are staying home watching the tournament on on their computers and don't really have anything to think about other than the game at hand.
No pressure, no pressure.
Yeah, exactly. No pressure. Perfectly well stated, Doctor.
Yeah.
There's no other intangibles and off the field, outside the lines type thing going in their mind, whereas SK is like, did I pack my toothbrush? So there's so many different variables going on there that anything can happen. And when you're playing a talented team like Spray, of course, do have to mention Krett subs for them. There you go.
Man, the Krett love is unbelievable
I
on
hate
this
him.
show. Yeah, right? For sure. So that ends our esports section. Outside of the fact, we do have the Smite launch tournament coming up here. That'll be on Friday, folks, so make sure you guys are tuning in. That'll be at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern. It will be on Smite Game and Smite Pro, so make sure you guys tune in and check those out for sure. We'll be down there doing work, helping to bring you guys, some great content, some good competitive side, and make sure you guys are cheering at home for your favorite teams for sure. I mean, in all honesty, all 8 teams have a chance. Like, all 8 teams have a chance to get first without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
As people have talked about, some teams might be holding a card up their sleeve, a strategy that they're hoping to introduce, and that's the big thing. I mean, we haven't really gotten into it much regarding the strategy side, but you have to remember, these teams practice day in and day out. There could be a strategy if they're up one game that, best of 3 series, they're up one game. The second game, they pull out some crazy strategy in order that, they've seen it work. They've played it quite a bit. They want to try it out. They want to catch a team off guard. I mean, if you could get 5 kills under the 1 minute mark because you try a crazy strategy of a full team gank or a rotation, I think it'll be really cool to see, and that's what I'm hoping to see. I want to see some good entertainment, but I want to see some good competition, and I'm almost 100% positive we're going to see it. So should be pretty exciting for Friday for sure. Any last esports things? Any esports
a lot
comments?
of the teams I wanted to talk about what you just mentioned.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of the teams, Krett and I practice. We watch scrims, and we just call the games to ourselves, in Mumble. That's how we practice. And recently, it's been a lot harder because for the past 2 weeks, teams have turned off spectating on their scrims. They don't want anybody looking at what they're doing. They don't want anybody looking at the VODs. They don't want anybody playing the replay. It's completely under wraps. The team that they scrim, of course, knows what's going on. But all you can see is the builds and like the scores. You can't see the exact plays that the teams are running, and you know that excites me because it shows just how professional these teams are taking it, just how serious these teams are taking it. And I just wanted to touch upon a point about what you said. Sure. All the teams have a chance to win. Yeah. You know, teams are seeded. There are definitely stronger picks than others. You know, Cognitive Gaming is, and no disrespect to Denial, one of my favorite organizations. Cognitive Gaming probably is it's they're valued, they're seeded, they're projected higher than Denial. Yeah. March Madness is the college basketball tournament going on. It's a 64 team bracket. The second seed was taken down by an unranked team. Like you know, Duke University, who is for all intents and purposes like Dignitas, was taken down by a college I've never even heard of. So upsets happen everywhere, and do not be surprised if something like that happens at the 100K. Yeah. I think a lot of people that have made the brackets, which I think is one of the cooler things that Smite have done, they released the bracket, which I wrote about. That was cool. Like, you could go home and fill in your own, and so that was an allusion to the March Madness. For those unfamiliar outside of America, it's a big thing in America to fill out a 64 teams for the college basketball, the NCAA. A lot of people that are into sports fill out these big brackets, and like, you know, if you win, hooray. Warren Buffett, actually, for what it's worth, Warren Buffett, the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, he what's it called? He offered $1 billion to somebody with a perfect bracket, and because of all the upsets, there is like a single bracket left in the running. Oh my goodness! But out of like millions and millions. But no, my point is that the brackets are cool, and don't be surprised if there's an upset. Anything can happen. Yeah. Anything can happen on LAN, since it's a different setting, which is very big. Yeah. And there's a crowd, which is very big. And one thing I want to say to the crowd. Yep. If you guys are going to the 200K, please cheer your face off. Please represent your team. I know there's not a lot of merch and gear out there, but if you can get your hands on like a jersey, wear it. Bring poster board. Make big signs. When I'm casting in the booth, when I'm watching these games, when I'm in the crowd myself, I want it to seem like a huge event. You know, I was getting my hair cut today, Octane. Oh, were you? Okay. Well, how about those eyebrows? You get the eyebrows done too? Yeah, a little trim. The eyebrows? My eyebrows, of course not. The caterpillars are my claim to fame. But no. And so the college basketball game ended. Okay. And professional bowling came on, all right? The PBA came on. We have a bigger crowd than PBA. I'm just putting that out there. Okay. No, not knocking on bowling, but there was probably less than 100 people there, and it was the semifinals for the like World Series of bowling or whatever. Okay. Like, that's a big deal, bro. Sure. And the crowd was dead. It was totally dead. Like, yes, bowling is sort of like golf, where you don't cheer while they're bowling, but afterwards, like, the guys, like, they get a strike, they're like, yeah, I got a strike, yeah! You know? And the crowd was like, dude, I don't care about your sport because of that. Yeah. The people that are like the sport enough to show up to the event don't care, then I don't care as a prospective fan, you know? Did you see you could get a Dignitas jersey now on their website? Yeah, I did, and I placed my order. Oh, I knew it. All right, dude. I've been asking that. As soon as I saw it. So now you're just waiting on your Jeff Hindela one, huh? You're just waiting on the Jeff Hindela. That's right. Pretty much. I want a jersey from every team that because that, you know, it's like I wear my Yankee hat almost every day. Sure. Like, it's a part of me, and I represent my that's important for Smite. But and that's what I'm saying. Represent your team at the 200K. Please go nuts in the stands. Please show people that are watching for the first time that you give stuff. Like, please, because that is very important. It's very important for first-time viewers, because there's going to be a lot of first-time viewers. Smite is probably going to be on the front page of Twitch. There's going to be a huge event. Yeah. Please don't sit there twiddling your thumbs, tweeting in your lap. Please get excited, because that's what matters, and that's what's cool. So please just do that for me. Make signs that say, like, Jeff Hindla marry me or something. Like, do it, because that's what's exciting, man. Serious. Awesome. Well, I think, Cooper, you have to head out. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna head out. I got
Okay.
one final word about
Sure,
going
please do.
back to what we talked about with any team has a chance to win, and this kind of gonna go a little off topic into the league kind of
No,
region.
go for it. Go for it.
And with League of Legends, I don't follow it at all anymore. Could care less about the game. It could go down tomorrow. I wouldn't care. But as far as competitive scene goes, I still know that the teams are fairly equal in competition. And, it's pretty much just whoever's feeling it that day is going to win. With this $200,000 tournament, and when we say anyone can win, there is so many things that could happen and so many different variables that could happen.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
what I mean by that is Cognitive, as F. says, the automatic favorite because they won 8 weeks in a row. But we also forget that the lowest seed in North America, Denial, pulls out some crazy strats in LAN. So if they decide to do that, they could win. And that's a variable that could happen.
Sure.
Team Dignitas, Lassus has to be on his game. And if he is, that's a really good chance for him to win. In the
Yep.
European scene, you got the underdogs, SK Gaming. Underdogs win all the time just because they're underdogs. If that happens, they could win. So what I'm going to love more than anything about the competition, other than, of course, everyone's going to be on their game, is just the diversity of variables that could happen. And if the teams really pull out and they decide to go crazy with strats, that's awesome. But then again, you may just see a team like Snipe stick to what they know, Shingo Bastet, and completely destroy everyone in the tournament. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And that's pretty much all I got to say on the matter. And I'm going to see everyone on Tuesday. I hope I see everyone in the chat on Tuesday, other than the Europeans that can't make it. I know it is a far flight. But, yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you for having me on the show. I do have to head out. But F. Nice meeting you finally. And I'm going to meet you in person on Tuesday. And Octane, as always, I'm going to see you on Tuesday as well. So thanks, guys.
So before you head out,
Yeah.
one of the viewers actually posted this on the ask.fm. I'm gonna put it in the GoToMeeting chat if you take a look, and I'm gonna put it up on stream right now because I think it's ridiculous. So somebody had said, "Hey,
What the hell?
I've been playing."
Oh, my God.
So we're gonna make it full screen. This was somebody messing around with Photoshop, and I think it's pretty good. So here it is, full screen for you folks at home. Just gonna put it up there. I could take a good beating. So we got F. F. Rocking it out right now with the Mighty Chalk there. That actually looks pretty good. Fits in pretty well. We have Cooper there hanging out as tier. I like the little, almost looks like a Guan Yu type of setup going on. And somehow I ended up being on Cupid.
I love how you're Cuban. That's hilarious.
I hate and love
Wow.
the chat. I hate and love the chat. We're just gonna put it
I'm
out there.
favoriting that in 5 different browsers. I don't even care.
It works out really well. Like, I'm loud and obnoxious, like all of Chalk's abilities, and Cooper is like a very, very stoic, strategic man, like Guan Yu was, god of the saint of war. And then you just have like Octane looking silly as Cupid.
I was gonna say, where are you going with this right now? I'm just waiting to see where you're going with this. So if you guys want to see the link, I'll put it in chat. And I'll take a good beating. Thank you very much for sending that over via the ask.fm. That was awesome. Anyways, Cooper, before we let you go, where can people go ahead and check you out, you and your content?
Yeah, obviously go to SmiteTube.com, full feature-length articles. I knew that was going to fall. Basically, if you want to follow me, which I don't know why you would want to,
Yeah.
you can go on Twitter, and it's StephenL_Cooper, COOPER, and that's where you're going to find anything that I'm going to post. Any article, any news about me, any news about Smite. I'm basically just updating there, and that's pretty much it. I'm a very simple man, so just Twitter.
Sweet. Well, make sure you guys do say hello to Cooper when you see him in Atlanta. Next week. What's that?
I followed Cooper.
Ah, okay. Nice guy. Yes, one more follower. Woo!
I can delete my Twitter now.
Dude, I don't follow anybody on Twitter.
So anyways, Cooper, thank you very much for coming on. Do appreciate it, man. And you have a good night.
Yeah, no problem. You guys too. Chat. I'll see you on I was going to say 200K, but I meant Tuesday. So
That's
I'll
right.
see you guys then.
On Tuesday, for sure. All right, cool. So let me go ahead and give us a sec here, guys. Going to go ahead and fix our overlay to get F. all taken care of. Hello. Wow, it zoomed in on you hardcore, though. Hello, look at that beautiful face. Only a mother can love that thing. Oh, my God. All right, get out. Get out. It's too close. It's too close. It's too close. I feel uncomfortable. Unbelievable. So let's move on. Before we go ahead and move on, guys, if you guys want to ask myself or F. a question, or you guys want to go ahead and start a conversation, you have a conversation piece you want to start out with us. Today's a very casual show, just kind of hanging out. So if you guys are interested and want to, you do have that opportunity if need be. So with that said, the link is in chat, s.fm/SmiteUpdate. If you guys want to ask us a question, please go there. Post a question. If you have a comment, post it there as well. And give me a sec here. I need to go ahead and just go ahead and add something in here. And in the meantime, we have our latest patch actually that came out. Biggest thing with the latest god. What are your thoughts on the latest god there, F. I mean, you've had a chance to kind of play him a little bit. I mean, some people hate him, some people love him. Where are you at with it?
Ullr is mad fun. He's a hunter tier, and tier is so much fun. I really like him. So he's really powerful. I'm not going to throw around the OP word just yet.
OP, you mean strong. We don't use OP. We use strong. He's strong.
Yeah, he might be OP. Like I have to play with him more. One of the cool things is that, like Skilla, he's skill dependent. Yeah. So if you're bad, he's nowhere near the turn OP. Yep. But if you're good and the whole combo is the axe stun, you'd stance switch, 3 with the hail of arrows, and then 1 with the whatever the spirit of arrow ability is called, and they're basically dead. That's very scary. The stun is long. The stun is definitely...
Yeah. I completely agree. I'm seeing that for sure. Like, when I play against him, I haven't played him a lot because I'm definitely a support type of player. I mean, I enjoy playing every god. I try to play every god that I can. Yeah. But if I'm to pick a role, it's definitely support. And when I play against him, I'm definitely noticing it for sure. Like, I'm definitely noticing. Like, I get stunned, and I'm like, seriously? Like, I feel like I'm sitting here forever. This is unreal. But I think strong, overpowered is tossed around a little bit. But I like the comment you said there about him. It really comes down to your skill with the god. And I think that's super important because that's, I think, what sets Smite apart a lot is that, but with these two guys, just like him and also with Scylla, the skill is there. Like, if you are really, really good with him, you have the skill to do it, you will do very well. It's not one of those gods where, like, hey, anybody can play him because he's so generic. Right. For example, like, now people might yell at me. Like, I want to say, like, Ra. Ra, I feel like, is a great god for beginners. Very simple, very basic, not very challenging. Your rotations are not difficult to go ahead and complete. Whereas somebody like the newest god, Ullr, they're like, the rotations are back and forth. Like, you're between stances. You have to hit them perfectly for the timings and everything.
So, can you say his name again?
What? Ullr?
The god's name?
Why? Did I say it
sounded
wrong?
like you were like you intentionally, like you didn't want to say it because you didn't know how.
I don't want to say it because he's so difficult. No, there's actually Ullr. Yeah, there's been some like some people have actually argued about his name. Like, how exactly are you how is it said? So. I can completely agree.
I don't know.
Because the funny thing is, like, people listen for the God Reveal videos, and they're like, okay, let's listen to see how she says it. But we actually haven't had a God Reveal for this video, so I'm hoping we get one this week. There probably won't be.
They don't usually do God Reveals for videos.
God Reveals for the latest God that just came out. God. I need to start holding a bat here. I'm packing a bat. I'm going to pack it. Going to get it. I'm out, bro.
Yeah,
I'm out.
Ullr's a lot of fun, and I 100% agree with what you said about Ra. I always point new players to Ra. Yeah. At the end of the day, he to play him at a high level, of course, like ulting defensively, etc. That's more complex, but no, I mean he is a great god, and you're spot on. Like, Ullr is definitely a much more complex character.
So is it Ullr or Ullr? I don't know. You've said his name 3 different ways over the past 5 minutes. What is it?
That's the secret. Just say them all, and eventually somebody will be like, "Yo, the way I thought said it was right."
Okay, yeah, exactly.
I mean, I still stand by Skilla. With the hard C, because the soft C didn't exist in a little bit of
whatever. Get out of here.
A little bit of linguistics history. Okay. In the Greek language that was around when Skilla was invented. I mean, it's a dead religion. Can we be disrespectful and say that the god was invented when the god was worshipped? Whatever. Soft C didn't exist, so it's Skilla, despite what they say in Smite. So.
For sure. So would love to hear your opinions on him specifically, guys, if you want to post them in chat or kind of fuel any conversation there. I think he fits in pretty well. Now, where have you seen him being played as his role?
Hunter and jungle, and solo lane occasionally. I don't love him in the solo lane as he's very, very mana dependent, but I think he can do both hunter and jungle roles, for sure.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, it's... I like his model though. I think his model's pretty cool there. I mean, we have 2 female gods, Artemis and also Neith, that are supporting the archer type of style. So it's kind of cool to see this. Some people commented too that we've only really had Norris gods are the gods at this point that have the stance rotation. With your tier and also with your hell. Now we're having, another one added in there as well. So quite a pattern actually going on with that. What are your thoughts on the kind of ultimates being a stance rotation compared to your traditional ultimate being some type of damage dealing or heal or something like that? Like, do you like the gods that have these stance rotations or no?
I like that they... I wouldn't like it if every single god was that way, but the fact that you have 2 gods right now, just Hell and whatever this guy's name is, I think that's really cool. It's interesting to have characters have completely... It's interesting to have characters have, break from the norm, so to speak, Octane. I think it's really cool how, this character doesn't have an ultimate, but he has, a ridiculously good kit. so you trade, you have 6 abilities instead of 4 where one of them's really good. You have 6... if you have 3 abilities and then your ultimate is a 10 out of 10, this guy has 6 abilities that are solid 7, so to speak. I'm making up numbers. We could be more in-depth about it, but the idea is that the trade-off of one giant ultimate is so that you have 2 extra abilities. So I really like that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go ahead and move it. Do you have anything last comment on the patch that we just had? I mean, most of it was specifically, the new god, a little bit of house, a little bit of, spring cleaning there, taking care of a few on and ends here and there. No major adjustments that kind of fell out of it. Spectator changes, some god graphics, screen, cards, a lot of stuff to get ready for the launch here coming out this upcoming week, but nothing crazy. I did see, I guess, was it Stu had posted the servers will be down on Monday, is it that I saw, for a little bit of time to make some infrastructure changes. So I'm actually kind of happy to hear that. Like, I would love to hear more detail. Like, are they adding additional servers? Are they swapping out servers? I mean, I guess if they were I don't know. Are we going to see a West Coast server come up? I mean, that type of stuff I'm interested to hear to find out what type of those infrastructure changes are, because I think it's important for sure. I mean, we as the community have been ranting and raving over the pings and servers and stuff like that. So all I know is I hope that high-res is spot on when the game goes live here.
Speak for yourself about ping. I average 19 ping, and when I play
19.
When I queue in Europe, I get 80.
See, I don't understand. You know what? It must be because
New York.
No,
Master Race.
It's where your ISP's colo is in relation to Atlanta. So I don't want to hear it. Like, I'm in Pennsylvania. Okay, what's your internet service? Who's your internet provider?
Verizon Fios.
Okay, exactly. Mine is Comcast. Each of them has a different route. Each of them has a different route directly to the high-res servers in Atlanta. I was gonna say for a second there, I'm like, wait, are the servers in New York? Oh, wait, no, they're actually in Atlanta. So
I actually play on a server.
Yeah. If you even knew one bit what you were talking about in the technology area, I'd give you credit, but you got nothing.
No. I physically play on a server. I'm sitting on a server right now.
Oh yeah? Yeah? You're such a troll. Get out. All right, so unbelievable. Make sure you guys ask us your questions. We're going to start to dive into them here in a sec. I'll put the link in chat, ask.fm/SmiteUpdate. F. Did you get into those questions? You got into that?
I did.
You did. All right, so this is where we kind of do community submitted questions. Some of them we can answer, some of them we really can't. Not because we're not allowed to or anything, but because we don't know the answer to it. Keep in mind, we are not high-res employees. We can't go ahead and give you the latest and greatest, like when the next god is and all that fun stuff. But, we can go ahead and give you our best answers here. So, F. Why don't you pick your first question?
Can we expect to see some F. Fanboy shirts? I'd love to buy one. I haven't made any, but
We talked about this last week. We're like, I'm gonna take your face and put it on a shirt, like black and white. It'll be like a black and white, like it'll be perfect.
No, right. You know what you should do? Just make a shirt and put a big period in the middle, just one dot. Yeah, just one dot. I'd actually wear that. That would actually look. I'm not one for like graphic tees, honestly.
Okay.
You know, when I was looking for a Smite shirt, I just wanted one with like a little logo that I could like. Yeah. You see what I'm wearing right now? Like, yep. I just I dress nicely home. But no, I'm not one for graphic. But I have a couple of graphic tees that I wear. Like I have the Knicks like warm up shirt that they wear during practice, like stuff like that I'll wear, and that would be cool. But as far as right now, there's no F. shirts in the making. But that would definitely be really cool.
Yeah.
But onto a realer question: is there any hope of Hi-Red adding a Mac OS version of the Smite client in the future? I think Octane can speak a little bit more to this. I know there's nothing official, and I think some of those data mining nerds found stuff, but Octane is the real guy that knows about this.
With the Mac OS, we get this a lot, and a lot of people post it, and it's completely respectable. I mean, there is a whole crowd of individuals. I had somebody in my stream chat the other day that was like, hey, I have a Mac. I would love to play Smite. It looks awesome. How can I play it? And I mean, a person with Mac, here's my recommendation. Right now, Hi-Rez is not, from their official comment. I don't work for Hi-Rez or anything, but they have commented and said, listen, we've been dabbling in the Mac OS and seeing how things will work out, but we're not, committing right now, hey, our goal is to get it on the Mac OS platform. They definitely want to see it there, but, they're not ready to go ahead and chase after that right now. So if you, as F. had said about data mining, there was a data mining post about some Mac files being on the latest patch, quite a few weeks back, that there were some Mac files in there and stuff like that, and that's where that came from. If you guys are running a Mac, I'm sorry to hear that, but if you do want to play Smite, I'd recommend installing Parallels and then installing Windows 7 or 8 on Parallels, and then you can go ahead and play Smite. That's pretty much the way that you're going to get Smite working in a Mac environment. But once again,
it's the only MOBA you could really play because you can't right-click with a one-button mouse.
Yeah. Hey, there's something wrong with those mice, all right? There's something wrong. They're like a factory defect, I like it. All right, next question here. Will multiple or one new god be released on Smite launch day? If so, any hints? There's been a lot of rumors going on. If you went back a few weeks, people were like, oh, I heard that 2 gods were coming out and a rework was coming out before the Smite launch. There's been a lot of, say there. Somebody in chat outside of Parallel, somebody said Boot Camp. That's another one there. Anyways, we don't work for Hi-Rez. It's not like we're going to go ahead and be like, oh, we know the fact that this god will be released here, but no one has said it yet. We're not going to be that guy, even if we did know it. But to my knowledge, at least, we did see a tweet come out from Hi-Rez Stu last week, and it was a picture that he had took of one of his designers working on a rework of Bastet. So we did see that. When it's going to come out?
That was Afro, huh?
Yeah. I don't know when it's going to be released, the rework. It could be before, it could be after. I don't really know. But, it could be during this upcoming week. I could see it. If it's just a graphical rework versus a skill set. But they're not doing any major patches, as they said, this upcoming week, which makes sense. I mean, you're not going to go ahead and patch your game, the same week as your game launches, as long as the same week that you have a major tournament. So, any information I missed out on there that you might know?
No, I don't know anything about that stuff, dude. I pay attention to the game state right now. I'm an esports douche. I don't.
Esports douche.
When it comes to data mining and the next stuff, I'm like, we'll see it when it actually matters. I just don't care. I'd rather talk about the stuff that's going on now. So.
Yeah, for sure. You want to take another question?
For sure. Let's see. Just got a new one. How big of a boost will Smite get now after release? I think it'll get a big boost just because advertising. Previously with Smite, you saw. This is such a boring question, but we'll handle it really quick. It's a good question. It's just not fun.
Because it's all theory crafting. There's no fact behind it. It's just
Yeah, I mean, there's fact. Like, there wasn't much advertising. You got, like,
Yeah.
Garbo little banner ads that looked like it was a match 5 game for your cell phone. Play
Awesome.
Smite free. But nothing really big. Now that it's being released, we see like Kelly tweeted out a picture of Smite on a bus.
That was awesome.
There's billboards and like it's gonna be a big deal. They have the ability to like really show a cool advertisement and things like that. So let's look for a more fun. Let's look for a more fun.
Go for it.
question.
Make sure you delete your questions, by the way, after you read them.
Okay. Do you think Bruiser's Warriors need an adjustment or nerf, as they provide more CC than tanks and do more damage than assassins?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
That's a great question. As far as it sounds like you're sort of it sounds like this question was aimed towards the bruisers in the support role that do a lot of damage. You see like Wukong being a support character and buying Chin's blades and going ham. So I think that I don't think that they need an adjustment or nerf because look at Geb. When you put out a magical guardian, a typical guardian with a good enough kit, it can combat. The difference is, and Guan Yu always gets brought up because the only CC he has is a slow with the dash, but he does have one of the best initiates in the game with Cavalry Charge.
Yeah.
So, it's not the complete package of CC like you have with Sun Wukong, but it's really just Wukong and Guan Yu and Odin are more like forced into that role. And you do sacrifice a lot of peel by grabbing a warrior. You'll see teams like, Bacchus unfortunately is Bacchus, but you play Geb, and what I mean by that is it's easy to cancel his CC. It's a channel, you can silence it, you can do a lot of things, and it doesn't CC anymore with the burp. But, Athena gets played, Geb gets played, we've seen Ymir have a rise, and, that peel is so powerful, and when you play the warrior in the guardian role, in the support role, you lose out on peel depending on the, if you play Sun Wukong, then LOL, you don't lose out on anything because he's Sun Wukong. But besides Wukong, you miss out on a lot of peel. So there is a trade-off there. So I'm okay with the current state. Like I said, Bacchus used to be very strong before everyone in the game had a way to cancel his Belch of the Gods. Athena.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, like Athena isn't first pick, but she's still played. Ymir isn't first pick, but she's still played. I think Sun Wukong's ability to support is very strong. I don't know if it needs a nerf, but so that's if the magical guardian is good enough and fits in with the team comp, you'll see it. I want to see supports more like hunters.
Okay.
Hunters, I think. Well, actually, I'll ask you this, Octane.
Sure.
What do you think is the best balanced role at the moment?
Best balance role.
Like as far as
I know the question. I'm repeating it, thinking. If I was to pick one, I'd have to say mid. Actually, the way I'm looking at it, like if I'm looking
mages.
Yes, when I'm looking at I'm thinking okay, let's go ahead and think about a conquest map right now and the roles that you see the players playing. And traditionally for me, when I'm looking and when I'm bans and pick stages or when I'm working through that, I feel like your mid characters, where as you said, which are very common to be mages. Let's just go with that commonality there. Yeah. I feel like they're very, very balanced in regards to there's a variety of choices that you can pick, and there's not a go-to god. I have to go. Like at one point it was like Agni. Like at one point it was I have to get Agni. I have to pick up Agni because he's one of the best lane advancers without a doubt and super strong. And then at one point, like when Poseidon came out, everybody was on Poseidon. And when Hell was having all the adjustments, Hell was like your number one. Like, hey, I have to go with Hell because she's ridiculous. Before she got nerfed like 4 patches or 5 patches in a row. So when I'm looking at it now, for me, just from my mindset, now granted, I'm not coming at it from a huge competitive side. I'm looking at it more from a casual side. I've been around a pretty decent amount of time within the Smite scene. I want to say mid. What about you? I mean, you have a lot of competitive background. What are you noticing that you would say, hey, seems pretty balanced, pretty common across the board?
I think it's Hunter without a doubt.
Okay.
Mage. A lot of problems with mages as far as like a lot of mages. There are a lot of weak mages. With hunters, virtually every hunter, with the exception of Cupid, and even he has his applications, but they're just not clear what those are.
Yeah.
But no, on a serious note, I think the hunters are extremely well balanced, and that's really where I was gearing this conversation towards.
Sure.
When you pick a hunter not because Anher's OP, I'm gonna pick him. You pick a hunter because it fits in your mindset as a team, and it works with your team comp.
Sure,
you know, when you pick Odin, you don't pick Shibalanki because you don't want to get stuck in the ring.
Yeah.
You know, so when you have a, for instance, when you have a lane with a Sun Wukong, somebody that can clear and do damage, Shibalanki is not a bad choice.
Yeah.
Because you can. Shibalanki is not a bad choice because you have absolutely no clear whatsoever. But should you get early kills, then all of a sudden you are very powerful. You know.
Yeah.
So if you're playing something like a Sun Wukong, you know, for Neith, if your team has a, okay, Dreads 420. What I mean by balanced, and for what you're talking about a full build ADC critting for 900, that's sort of what hunters do.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about balance within the role itself. When you play mid, you're like Agni or bust, see you later.
Yeah.
Like pick me, Zhang Kui prior to the nerfs.
Yep.
You know, that's what you do. When you play jungle, you're like Thanatos or bust. You know.
Yep.
When you play hunter, so for example, you know, everybody has their own application, and real quick, like Neith is when you want to stay in lane and have a global presence. Neith is really good for when you have a Poseidon mid or somebody that needs some setup. You can world weave, get the stun, or force beads somehow, and then like you use world weave to force beads, and then your Hades mid has an actual ultimate instead of nothing at all. You know, same thing with Ares. You know, so you have things like that. When you play Anher, when you can box. When you play Apollo, you can split push. When you play Cupid, you can die. No, realistically, Cupid has sustain. So shout out to Cupid, but he's pretty much garbage at the moment. You know?
There's better gods for the role of Hunter, for sure.
Exactly. You know, and it, you know, shout out to Hi-Rez. It's incredibly difficult to balance 50 gods.
Yeah.
So there's that. But so, you know, you're going to have a Cupid. But at the end of the day, all of the hunters have their role, and that's what I want for every single role. Like I said, it's man hard to do. It is what it is. But, you know, like you pick Neith because you have a combo in mid. You pick Apollo because you want to be split pushing and you want your guardian out of lane a lot. You know, I want it to be, well, you're gonna pick Odin because, like, when you pick Odin jungle or Chalk jungle, it's because you don't have peel. You don't have a tanky person necessarily in your guardian role. You know, when you pick. Well, that's what I want more of in Smite, and so that's what I like about the hunter role, and that I think by far hunter is the most balanced as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, sure. That was a good question, without a doubt. I mean, when it comes down to it, you know, people are talking about, you know, like what I've started to see too, especially at the competitive level, you're seeing more of your support gods kind of falling off, and you're seeing more bruiser warriors being picked up. Your Chalks, your Tiers, stuff like that, and Guan Yus, and so I think that's where people are coming from, and just kind of saying, you know, hey, like when will supports become viable again in a competitive atmosphere? And I think it's a good question for sure. I mean, you know, from a competitive side, when you're looking at it, I mean, hey, if you could pick up a god that can not only take the damage but deal the damage, it's a good pickup for sure. I mean, I think the meta will shift. There's always a meta shift. Every time there's a patch, there's a new god that comes out for sure. I mean, more recently, like gods like Nemesis, you know, was classified one way. People played her another way. So, you know, it's definitely a good question without a doubt. Let's go ahead and pick up another one here. What are you going to buy with your tweet gems? I don't know. Probably a skin. Probably a skin or the next god, you know.
I might buy Wukong's voice pack because I bought Wukong because he's just like
he's awesome.
If you
he's
had
awesome.
gems and you didn't buy Dark Lord Wukong, what are you doing with your life? But I don't have the voice pack. And support has become I still love the jungle and the way you're able to impact the game, but support you're able to do the same thing, but you don't die. So
that is
can't
true.
Really hurt,
that is true.
Like you can't really hurt people's feelings the way you can jumping on their face, like when they're at 80% HP with Thanatos and murdering them. You know, so you can't really hurt people's feelings, which is why I play online games. But you can really coach and corral your enemy. You coach your team and corral your enemy the way you want with support. So I've been playing a lot of support, and if you're not playing Sun Wukong support, what are you doing with your life?
Sure. No, I think it's a good question.
Great question.
You know, I'll take another question here, and then you can start one up too here. Someone asked, and you know, this is very casual, and too like crazy to think about, but I think it's good to fill these in. Favorite snack when you're playing Smite? You know, what do you snack on? What is it? What is it?
You know, I don't really like. You know what sucks when I play Smite. A lot of times, I'm like, all right, like, I'm gonna get food, and I'm gonna play some Smite. You know, in that mid afternoon, I get food, and like, I play Smite, and I'm like, ah, crap, my food's cold. You know what I mean? So as far as my favorite snack when I play Smite, you know, I don't really eat like chips and stuff because that makes your mouth all shut down. You know, so like you don't want any of that. So the food that I eat the most while playing Smite is halal.
What the heck is that? What is that?
Okay, so
it sounds
halal,
like Indian or something.
It's Pakistani. Actually, well, halal is Islamic. Halal is to Islam as kosher is to Judaism. It's just a way of preparing the meat. But it's a colloquialism for chicken and lamb over rice with white and red sauce. The white sauce
sounds healthy for you.
It's not unhealthy, but it depends on how much white sauce you put on.
Yeah, see, that comes out.
So the white sauce it's like a yogurt sauce. It's similar. I would compare it to tzatziki sauce, but which is gyro sauce if you're a dumb American, like myself.
Wow, I was gonna say gyro sauce.
Yeah, like tzatziki sauce is the white stuff that you get on gyro.
Cooking with F. Here we go. We're gonna do a whole show on cooking. Here we go.
So the white sauce is similar to tzatziki sauce, but it has less cucumbers and stuff like that, and. So and then the red sauce is like the most spicy thing you've ever had in your life. You buy it from a cart on the street. It's $5, and you get like a massive amount of meat. Like it's a massive amount of food. Honestly, everyone that comes to New York and visits me, like they're like, oh, let's go out. Like you're gonna have to show us a cool place to eat in the city. And I'm like, yeah, we'll totally go to the city. And you know, they're expecting like 5-star. I'm like, nah. We get to the corner of 53rd and 6th, and I go, that's where we're eating. They're like, a food truck.
Yeah,
like,
right.
My friend,
are you joking, bro? I'd be like, that is disgusting. I'm not eating there.
dude, my friend came from my friend, one of my lifelong friend essentially. I started playing World of Warcraft.
Your partner, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like my team of like internet nerd friends. We call ourselves the Turks. Our motto is hurt and feelings since 2002.
Oh,
we've been gaming since 2002.
Okay.
Most of the Turks are coming down to Atlanta. I'm super hyped. But anyway, my friend Ryan, Angar Ryachart, you've seen him in the chat, you've seen him in my chat. He lives in the Bay Area. He grew up in Tennessee and then moved to San Francisco because he's like a computer nerd, obviously. And he came to New York and he was like, I'm not eating that. I'm just not doing it. And his girlfriend Jess was also like, I don't want to eat. I'm like, just trust me. It's $5. You can throw it out if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Homie was like, he got the platter, he put the sauce on, he's like, what?
Yeah.
Ate it, and he was like, what? I'm telling you, man, it is as long as you like Smite, it is delicious. Come, Octane, I implore you, come to New York. We will go to 53rd and 6th, and I will show you the beauty of street meat. Dude,
oh, wow, that just sounds so wrong in so many ways. But on another note, New York's not that far, bro. New York's not that far for me. I mean, it's probably about 3 hours.
Yeah, not bad.
Good question. When it comes for me, Snack wise, definitely Cheez-Its. I'm definitely a Cheez-It whore, but then I need, but as you said, like, get your fingers all dirty, so you can't have that.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those guys that has, like, Cheez-Its, glass of milk, and then a whole pile of paper towels. So I, like, grab a Cheez-It, eat it, wipe it off real quick, you know?
All right, I'm gonna stop you.
What?
Cheez-Its in a glass of milk? Are
Oh!
you asking
no,
to
no,
vomit?
no, I'm not dipping, as in a glass of milk, like I got to drink. Whatever. Yo, don't ditch me, bro. Come on now. It's so good. It's so good. I'm trying to think what else.
Cheez-Its and milk sounds disgusting.
Oh,
But
it's so good. It's so good.
Dry Bear is like just vomiting from the thought of that. He's lactose intolerant.
Oh, let's feed it to him and stuff it down.
But like even dude, I'm not lactose intolerant, and that sounds disgusting.
Oh, Cheez-Its are so good. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. Go back to New York. Go back to New York. All right. Anyway.
You sounded more British than anything else.
All right. No comment.
I'm gonna link a picture in chat of what halal is.
Yeah, you do that, and I'll put some Cheez-Its and milk in chat. All right, 1 second. Another question here says, how do you feel about Dry Bear as high-res Dry Bear? I assume you mean like as an employee. We kind of talked about it at the top of the show during our community section. We mentioned about that high-res picking up a new employee being Dry Bear. We have nothing but good things to say about it. I mean, we're happy for him, pleased for him. Good addition to the high-res team, and he's worked hard for it. So not.
He definitely has.
All right, let's see. If you could do any Joust comp, what would it be? For 3 vs 3, best comp. I want to throw this to F. Dot first because 3 vs 3, F. Dot. Let's hear it up, bro.
Right now, I'm looking at pictures of halal, and I might leave to go get it.
It's so good. It's so
3
good.
3 vs 3.
3 vs 3. Break it down. Break it down.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a wizard, and Juice play a lot of Habwa, Chunga, some Bruiser.
Yeah, some Wukong in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little out of my element when it comes to 3v3, so I'm just going to give you an uninformed cheese comp opinion.
Okay.
I really like the idea of Bacchus, Shibalanki, and somebody that can capitalize off of people being stunned. Because so Shibalanki has an ultimate that stuns you if you keep moving, and Bacchus has an ultimate that prevents you from stopping moving. Yeah. So you're going to get stunned. It's going to be funny, and then Spirit's Tempest on their face or something. Yeah. That's fun to me. But as far as a legitimate 3v3 Joust comp, I'm sure honestly I could probably figure out some good comps in my brain, but at the moment I don't have any informed opinion for you. How about yourself?
3 vs 3, I cast it every week. I enjoy it. I get to see some of these teams play a lot, and the comps are interesting because those of you guys that are used to watching 5 vs 5 in the competitive atmosphere, you would traditionally go, okay, well, for 3 vs 3, you need your support, you need your AD, and you need, your mage in there with your magical power. And that's not necessarily the case at all. I mean, granted, Bacchus and Geb, hands down, are your best supports within 3 vs 3, but you don't always have to go with that traditional playstyle with that comp. It's very common, one of the most banned and also picked players in 3 vs 3 is Sun Wukong, because a lot of people will start out Sun Wukong with some type of, maybe the Mystical Mail, I think it's called now, or a Hide of Urchin or something like that. So he kind of plays that support role, but then he goes ahead and alternates in a lot of your AD, your typical Sun Wukong items. So when we talk about a 3 vs 3 comp, I mean, I'm trying to see. I've seen ones that I like a lot would be Sun Wukong, Habwa in there, and sometimes a Chunga. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of opportunity. The thing about 3 vs 3 that comes down to it is you need 3 vs 3 is all team battles. It's not like your typical Conquest. So take everything you know about Conquest in regards to your junglers, your solo laners, everything like that. Throw it out the window when it comes to 3 vs 3 because it all comes down to team fights. Which 3 gods will be utilized in a team fight with CC along with having the burst damage available to you, but then also have the ability to escape if necessary. So it's this whole opposite meta than Conquest. So, it really comes and goes. The meta shifts a lot, but the way I stand for me, if I was just to comment on 3 gods that I feel are the best or the necessities in 3 vs 3, Bacchus, Geb, and then finally Sun Wukong. What are you laughing about, bro? You're always laughing about something.
Hey, F. Dot, will you marry me? Yo, F. Dot, will you marry me now? Back-to-back questions.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What else you got? What else you got? Throw out a question there.
I really like this one, and I'm gonna let you talk first.
Okay.
Does the Smite game 24/5 stream prevent growth on other Twitch channels?
All right, so this is a really good question. Reason being is because people are up in the air about it, and hopefully we can kind of like smooth that over for you guys a little bit with it. In my opinion, starting out in the Smite scene early on, looking at the Twitch chat. I mean, dude, when Smite really started out, you might be lucky to have like 20, 25 channels streaming Smite back then, like if you're lucky. And some people may argue, hey, 9 out of 10 people that are watching Smite games will watch the channel Smite game or the Smite Pro channels, whatever. No one's going to go watch a lot of these other people. 1 out of the 10 might go watch it. And that's
1 out of 10.
Yeah, it is a very good argument. And that is very much the case. But let's go ahead and look at the benefit of having this 24 hours, 5 days a week, sometimes on the weekend channel for a game that is currently in alpha, beta, and now being launched. The benefit of it is the fact that it grows the community in ways that an individual channel would not be able to do. Lassus, for example, streams a lot. I think he's streaming right now. He can't stream all the time, so therefore that quality of content is not always available to the community. But there's other streamers, so on and so forth. I personally feel that the Smite Game and Smite Pro channels have helped with the growth tremendously, kind of making this Twitch channel like a one-stop shop. Like, hey, you want to, like, for example, like, I want to turn something on, I throw it up on the TV next to me while I'm doing something, it's Smite Game. I know I'm always going to find something rather interesting on there from time to time. I may like one streamer, I might not like the next streamer, no big deal. Now, after the game launches, I'm eager to see what Hi-Rez decides to do with Smite Game. Do they hand over this Twitch outlet to the community in regards to, hey, we're still going to have a channel, Smite Game or Smite Pro, but we're going to change it up. If, and this is very hypothetical speaking, if after the game launches, Hi-Rez decides, you know what, Smite Pro is going to have on an ESPN style channel where you will see people throughout the day analyzing games that are going on or have gone on, showing replays of games, showing previous tournaments going on Smite Pro, I'd be all about that. I'd be like, that is awesome. If I could turn on a channel and see a tournament streaming, even if it's a rebroadcast, I would love that. That would be so good. Like, especially if they were to throw on like tournaments back in the day where like Root and Curse, like showing back those, like, because think of like ESPN now, they go back and show channels from like 40 years, shows from 40 years ago, your games and stuff like that. Now, on the Smite Game side, hypothetically speaking, I would love to see them take it and run with it and make Smite Game more. Now, this may or may not be biased, but more show-based, like more community content-based, like the art show, this show, Smite Talk, and then other shows. Like, I want to see other shows out there, but I would love to see other content community-based about the show, about the game. Now, it doesn't have to be 24/7. At all, but I would love to see something like that where like you have two channels, one dedicated to the game itself and the community and another one to fuel esports. That's my thoughts on it all. What are your thoughts on that question? Does the Smite Game 24, 5, 7, whatever stream prevent growth of other Twitch channels?
Absolutely not. I think it's the biggest cop-out that I've ever heard in my entire life.
I love this answer already.
And it really infuriates me.
Okay.
It's a really lazy answer, and a really lazy excuse as to why you're not getting viewers. We talked before about it, how like you stream for a week and you get 2 viewers and you're like, oh, I don't have boobs. I'm not a pro. You can do it. Yeah. Like, it's not. Smite Game doesn't take away from viewers that would watch you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Correct.
Unless Unless you are like a clone of the person on Smite Game at the time, you're not like Smite Game's not taking away your viewers. Yeah. Like, I'm looking at the people playing Smite right now, and so Asapir, he streams. He has 17 viewers right now.
Okay.
He plays ranked. He's not a pro. He's moderate skill level.
Okay.
He averages 20 to 50 viewers. He's never been on Smite Game. The people that watch him watch him. Smite Game is not taking away from his viewers. You know, we look at Yuketsu, who's a viewer of mine from Tier Monster.
Okay.
He streams. He gets like 10-ish viewers around there, and he started like a week ago with 0 viewers.
Okay.
And you know, I walk in and he's like having fun, listening to music, and there's like one dude in there watching him have a good time.
Yeah.
He plays the Joust League, and so like a dedicated Joust League stream. Smite Game's not taking your viewers, bro.
Yeah, it's like a niche market for sure.
Yeah, you know, and like, you know, even if you're playing Conquest, like you know, if you're playing fun Conquest, Assault, whatever, like Smite Game, the reason you don't have as many viewers as you want is not because of Smite Game.
Yeah.
Smite Game does not take viewers away from you. Smite Game is an advertising platform for high-res studios to make Smite a bigger show. Smite Game is what players new to the game are going to look at to get an idea of what's going on. Then they're going to click on the Smite button and they'll see other streamers, you know, and that's important. You need to like you need to farm your own family, and that's what does it. Smite Game doesn't take away from your viewers, and the second you start saying that, the second you start making a detriment to yourself.
Yeah.
It was Phil. No, I think it was Phil Jackson that said, "Champions make plays, not excuses." And if you want to be a good channel, you just continue doing what you do instead of making excuses.
Yeah.
Smite Game does what it does, and it's going to continue what it's doing. And if you want your channel to be big, you got to make it big yourself and not blame other people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Hi-Rez has a lot available to them that they can do with Smite Game and Smite Pro. I don't think for sure that we're going to see Smite Game continue to be a 24/7 or 24/5 whatever, just people playing the game. Because, I mean, in my personal opinion with Smite Game, the way it is, and the opportunity, people could go anywhere on Twitch and watch that person playing Smite. Like, you could go and watch people play Smite anywhere now. You know, there's enough streamers and stuff like that. So I think, this is personal, hypothetical, my thoughts is that Smite Game will turn into something different after the game launches. Because there's so much more potential for the channel than just gameplay. I think.
Yeah, I actually wanted to piggyback on what you said before, Octane. I would love to see... You know, like you said, not 24/7. Yeah. Real quick, Devin7.
Sure.
You have a cool name. If you click above and you click videos and you click past broadcasts, you can see the tournaments. They're hosted right here on Smite Game, and you can see the VODs. I don't think they're up on YouTube yet, but after Smite launch, look to see a lot of that revamped, a lot of stuff. You compare it to League of Legends. I imagine you will see a lot of stuff like that. But what's it called? I would like to see like shows like this, just shows that happen, and not everybody likes this stuff. I understand that, but one or two every single day, like have a morning show and an evening show where we sit where not Smite Update, something different. So like you know, just the way like, oh, I gotta turn on CBS Tuesday at 8 to catch Alias, like, you know, tune in Sunday nights to catch me and Octane talking about Cheez-Its and stuff like that, you know, and then like,
and milk, and how good it is. Yeah, that's right.
Oh man, and then tune in, you know, like Thursday evenings on Smite Pro to see Krett and 3 pros discuss and dissect this week's tournament. You know, like that's like there's so much room for stuff like that, and there's so much untapped potential, and just putting this out there, you can do it on your own channel and then take your idea to Hi-Rez, and maybe, you know, that's how these things get started.
That's like, how this got started. That's
what I'm saying. Octane didn't work for Hi-Rez. He can tell you the story himself, but homie just decided to make a ballin' ass show and said, hey, Hi-Rez, please, and they were like, yo, this is dope, no doubt.
Dope. And that's dope.
Boom. Like, boom.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I want to see more shows become available out there, and you don't have to stream it. Like, it doesn't have to be on Smite Game, doesn't have to be on Smite Pro, but I'd love to see more. And I think as the community grows, more and more people are going to do it. And keep in mind, it takes a while to get an audience, without a doubt. And that's same thing with the Twitch aspect. It takes a while, but I would love to see something like that after the game launches with Smite Game and also with Smite Pro. So, moving on here. Let's see. Krett's in chat now.
While you look for a question, I'm going to comment on Brett. Brett M said, you have 550 viewers to talk about why Hunter should never be
I saw that.
This is a really... Krett and I get very passionate about this. In fact, we like held up the Tier Monster tournament to speak about why you shouldn't be buying gym size.
All right, so quick note: mute your mic real quick and unmute it. I'm getting this weird like little like staticky buzz. Say something now. I can't hear you. You're
Testing
muted.
1 2 3.
Oh, you're still getting it. Hang on.
Unmuted.
Yeah, let me mute you real quick. Hang on. You're unmuted now, and yeah. There's no vocals there. It's too quiet. Yeah, you're unmuted. Yeah, that's right. That should be better. We'll find out if it's not.
Hello? Hello?
We're still getting it a little bit, but not the end of the world. It's go to meeting for the win. Go to meeting for the win. All right. Somebody had asked, do you think you're going to see Anubis in any of the tournaments coming up this next week?
No, Krett's not playing.
Anubis is a great god. He really is. But unfortunately, as he is a cool god, he's a lot of fun to play. But there's, as I said before in my comment, there's always a better god to play in his role. You know, in the role where you know, some people might use Anubis mid, some people might use Anubis, dual lane, whatever. There's better god choices to pick that can benefit the team overall than Anubis. So my answer is no. If I see an Anubis at the launch tournament, I'm gonna be very impressed. But I don't think I will see an Anubis whatsoever.
Oh, what's up, Asapir? I literally just said your name, so shout out to Asapir. But what's it called? No. I don't think so. You might see Europe do something weird like that because that's what Europe is all about. But Anubis, you know what Anubis is? This is Anubis. I just put it in chat. This is really what Anubis is. I've recently been playing League.
Free kill.
I've recently been playing ranked. You know, I'm the Bronze League bully.
Yeah.
And
Bronze League bully. That is baller.
Yo, I'm the Bronze League bully. That's my name. I come through with the bat. Yo, somebody let me get Thanatos. Somebody let me get Thanatos. I went 22-2 in 14 minutes.
So I do have to comment on the fact that you pulled out that bat like it was a sword, like you're a ninja. All of a sudden, he's pulls it from his back. Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? He just keeps it like one of those backpacks or something like that, pulling it out. He's like, I always store this. This is how we roll in Brooklyn. All right.
But no. So the end of my parable is that do more Anubis mid. I played tier. Dude died 11 times.
Oh my goodness.
Anubis is a fun god, and actually, Krett will bring this up because Krett is legendary Anubis because he hates his life. But Anubis with the advent, it's not even the advent. Ra solo has been amazing for a long time. Anubis can kill Ra, so to be completely honest, you may see Anubis in the solo lane against a Ra, but he's such an easy kill. So. I won't say absolutely not. You're absolutely not going to see an Ares in the 200.
That would be unique. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just not going to. But Anubis has his applications, however small they are. And then there's Krett. Yo, Anubis is mad good.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. What question? Pick out a question.
All right, pick out a question. Let's see. Bosco.
Yeah, I know some of these questions. I love troll questions for sure.
But so Bosco syrup is funny. He goes into Shadowq's chat and he's like, "Have you guys tried Bosco syrup?" and just links BoscoWorld.com and it's not an actual advertisement. He's just being funny. It's hilarious. That's my sense of humor. He's not making a joke. He's just advertising for Bosco syrup, and it's hilarious as hell. I find that hysterical. Do you think Nemesis can jungle? My friend can do it pretty well, but I think that it isn't the correct use. I actually think Nemesis can and should.
Yeah, for sure.
Game. Yeah, her kit, she's labeled a warrior for some reason. I guess somebody at Harris was drunk when they...
Oh, that's right. Hey, you said it, not me, but I completely agree, 110%.
Warrior is not a warrior.
No.
She's straight up an assassin. Her lane clear is Garbo, so she can't really solo sufficiently. But when she pops out the jungle and hits you with the... whop, and you all of a sudden walk slower than a dog in the lane. It's just ridiculous. She's whap, and then she's boom, 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 and you're help, 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 and you spam VHH and you die.
Yeah.
She's
that's warrior-like. That's warrior-like, right? That's how warriors play. All right, so timeout. When Nemesis came out and they had to hotfix her because timeout on the field, folks. You can't even see my camera either, but I did that. I literally did that, like, as you did that. So, anyways, I was going to say, with Nemesis, it was funny. When they came out and they had to hotfix Nemesis because they said, it was posted on Twitter or Reddit or somewhere, where someone from Hi-Rez was like, she's getting more kills than an assassin and she's dying less than a support. I think we need to make an adjustment. I was like, yes, 110%, for sure there. That was good.
Krett's 100% right, by the way.
Okay.
She doesn't pop out of the jungle. She goes bang. She makes a lot of noise. Like, you know, she rushes in. She's like, pow.
There's nothing silent about Nemesis. Like
Not
she's
at
that
all.
person. She's that friend of yours that's like, oh, I'm quiet. You know, I can be quiet, and then they sound like F dot, and they're like scream and yell. That is Nemesis right there for sure. So
Yo, I'm a quiet ass dude. Come on now.
now here's a question. Here's a question for you that's not listed, but I'm interested to hear.
Okay.
Who? Let's see. It's two-part question. Going to Atlanta here. You know, you're gonna be down there tomorrow. I'll be down there Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Who in Atlanta? What competitive player are you excited to meet that you've never met? And what other person outside of a competitive player are you eager to meet? Go. And you don't have to say Krett because he's your boy. You know, come on now.
Yeah, no, Krett's my guy. I'm obviously like, man, we're gonna be rooming together. Like,
Oh, sweet.
I don't know,
That's great.
yeah, Krett's an okay dude. I'm worried that he's gonna get his hair everywhere. So,
Yeah, I know. I hate that with bald people.
yeah. But I don't know. As far as a competitive player, I get along really well with ShadowQ, and Jeff Hindler lives like 10 minutes away from me, and I haven't hung out with him yet.
What?
But-
Come on.
But no, I get along really well with ShadowQ. So we have like very similar mindsets. Zapman is from like even like if Jeff Hindler is 20 minutes away from me,
Okay.
Zapman originally was literally like I've gone to the same parties as Zapman.
Oh, wow, okay.
So like that'd be pretty sweet to like meet him and be like, yeah, Long Island.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just excited to meet everybody. Like everybody's mad cool. I get along with at least I think I get along with most of the competitive players, and there's nobody that I specifically like hate. You know, and you know me, straight up. If I didn't like somebody, I'd be like, yo, this guy's a dirt.
Yo, he tells me all the time, guys in chat. He tells me all the time.
Yeah, no, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm just excited to meet everybody. Outside of that, I have to go with my man FG3000.
Oh,
FG3000. He streams on Tier Monsters from 7 to 10 p.m.
Okay.
and he also puts out really quality YouTube videos.
Okay.
You know, he has a little bit of a following. He's not
Yeah.
super huge like Dry Bear, but people do watch his videos a lot. He puts out God reveals, skin reveals, not reveals, like reviews, I guess.
Reviews, okay.
God reviews, skin reviews, voice pack stuff. Really good for like if you want to spend your gems. Really good for newer players. I always point newer players to his stuff because it's not super in-depth pro strategy, but I just really like FG's content. He's a really cool dude. He's mad nice. Like my man FG is just a nice guy, and I'm not. So
Yo, at least you're honest, bro. At least you're honest.
yeah, no, I mean I'm not. It is what it is. But like I totally like want to hear. I want to meet FG. He's the man. We hang out. I watch his stream a lot. He's the only like I don't really watch people play viewer games and do assault and stuff like that. But I will watch FG for 3 hours a night when I get the chance because he's just a cool dude with a good heart. You know, it's hard to find people like that in 2014. I almost said 2012, 2014. So FG's my boy, and I'm hype as hell to see that guy.
Awesome. What
about you?
What is my perspective on that? Yeah, well, definitely excited to meet you, bro. I mean, come on now. You're one of the few people that I can bullshit with, and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I'm trying to think now. There's one person, and it's kind of interesting. I'll tell you the story about it. You'll probably guess who it is as I go along. So, I didn't like this guy at all. I think he was the biggest little tool in the world, and I thought he's complete opposite than me when it came down to community perspective. And people say, oh, Octane Pro, the nice guy and stuff like that. Like always being very gentlemanlike, stuff like that. This guy completely opposite, but he always got a lot of bad slack for it. And, people really, really didn't understand his. Everyone's different. Not everybody is Octane Pro. We're like, hey, I love everybody, love the viewers, blah blah blah. That's just who I am. But so I didn't really like him for a while because he was like,
talking about?
I'm not gonna tell you yet. I'll tell you when I'm done here. So he's a complete opposite of me for the longest time, and then I don't know what it was. Like, I'll light your face. Overnight, look. Chat knows who it is. Overnight. So overnight, and I don't know why, like, and I think it was because the one night I watched him, and I watched him playing, and I was like, dude, as much as this guy is like the complete opposite of me, and he's such a troll, and he's such a BM, he expresses when he's frustrated and rages a lot. I was like, this dude knows his stuff. That's right, GG's right. I was like, this guy knows his stuff. Like, he knows.
Is it me?
No, it's not you. He knows his stuff for sure. And so I'm talking about DM Brandon for sure. Like, I didn't like the guy at first at all. I'll be first to admit, like, I thought he was a little tool. And but now, after watching him for so much time, he knows the game so well. He's passionate about the game. Yeah, he can rage about it, but we all do it. We all rage when we play games, just as people express it differently. So I'm excited to meet him, for sure. One, because him and I are like the same height, so we can both be short guys together. All good. I hate you. Anyways, second person definitely eager to meet is Lassus for sure from a competitive perspective. He's been around for a long time as well.
Yes.
So, I remember playing against Juice back in the day in the Woggle Tournament League, and
Wait. What's the name of the tournament league?
Woggle. WOGL. Everyone calls it
I
Woggle.
know. I just really like hearing the word woggle. It sounds like a
ridiculous.
Pokemon.
Oh my gosh. All right, yeah, that's right.
Woggle, woggle, woggle. Woggle, 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 woggle.
So he was one of the guys that was on the team. Oh my god, I'm gonna smack you. Give me that bat. So outside of that, he was one of the guys where like we played against. This was in a day where like there wasn't any like amazing teams. It was like a handful of casual teams that were playing. My team played against his. It was 5-on-3 because two of his teammates DC'd like halfway through the game. There was no pause or anything then. His team still ended up beating my team 3-against-5. So like I still give the man props. But the cool thing was like he was still super like respectful about it. Wasn't like you guys are horrible. Stop playing the game. He's like we beat you 3-5. But yeah. So Lassus and DM Brandon are my answer as you giggle. Look at this. Look at this comment. Octane and DM the Dwarf team. I hate you guys. I really do. I hate you guys.
He dresses a lot nicer than you, though.
Oh, we'll see. Just wait. All right, you'll see. I'm at home wearing a t-shirt on stream. I don't have to wear a suit. I'm
not wearing a suit. I look like $1 million.
I'll go break out my $500 suit, and we'll see who's.
Ooh, watch out, Mr. Big Man.
Guess what?
$500.
Guess
Where'd you
what?
go, Joseph A. Banks?
Guess what? It doesn't make me look any better. All right, let's take another question before I rage about your comments. What do you got?
I had a good question. I want to answer this. This is a pretty like objective. It's objective. It's not subjective. It's a quick answer for the most part. What are the gods you should have mastered before you play ranked?
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, I like this question a lot. I get this question from time to time, and I mean honestly, if you can get 50 gods mastered, that's the way to go. But obviously, you can't. Is there like a god? Here you go, godless. Okay, so as far as mages are concerned,
okay,
Agni, you need Agni.
Yep.
Okay, without a doubt, Agni, Ra, Zeus. If you get the opportunity to use him, that's pretty sweet. Ao Kwang, Zhang Kuei to a lesser extent are necessary and needed. Poseidon has been played. Habwa has been played. And Freya, actually. Freya is in the mage category, but she's more used as an assassin. So those are definite. You need those as mages. Hunters, you try to have a couple that aren't Cupid and Shibalanki, essentially. You need a Musin Cobb, and you need Apollo. Like, we talked about how hunters are very, diverse, or very, very well balanced. Like I said, you just need a couple of them. A Musin Cobb, definitely, and I feel like Apollo and Anhur are really powerful. Neith, a lot of people like Neith. When it comes to, Shibalanki, Artemis, and Cupid, not so much.
Yeah.
Now, the Assassins, you need Thanatos without a doubt. Mercury's also... You need Thanatos, Bastet, Hunbats is a solid pick, and Thor gets picked, you know. And as far as Guardians are concerned, make sure you have Gab. If you don't have Gab, what the hell are you doing with your life?
He's so good.
Sobek is very counterable these days and not played often, but still good. And Ymir is a great pickup. I know you love Ymir.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the like not naming the god specifically approach, and just say, if you go into ranked, the only thing I can ask you is to have one god in every role that you feel comfortable in.
I think you need a lot more than that, Octane.
Sure, no, okay. My answer should be at least one god. And the reason I say that is because the problem is I hate getting into ranked, and I think everyone shares this frustration. And they jump into ranked, somebody picks a god, and then all of a sudden, someone's like, oh no, that's the only god I know how to play. That is the worst thing. Have you ever seen that? I hate that. It drives me nuts. I want to be like, all right, F6, I'm out, taking off there.
Yo, Tales from the bowels of his Bronze League real quick. I played a game. I've only lost. I'm 17-2 at the moment. The one game that I lost out of DC. The second game that I lost, we had Ymir. The guy bottom elo was support, and he said, okay, Ymir got picked on the other team. He said, oh, that they got my support, and we're like, oh, okay. Like, that sucks, bro, you know? And then comes down to him, he's got to pick a support. He picks, like, Naja or something. And we're like, what? He's like, dude, I told you they took my support. We're like, we thought you meant your best support. He's like, that's my only support. Like, don't do that. I will come for you with the bat. Like, you know, you need to have the top tier picks because, again, important thing for ranked, you trade gods, so you get gods for other players. So you know, you need all the gods that I mentioned. It sounds like a lot. You really need half the god pool. As far as like what you need, like base, you can start off like I named a lot of gods, but to whittle it down as low as possible, Agni, Ra, Zeus. Freya,
okay, I like it.
As far as mage is concerned,
I like it.
Hunter, Hunter, Amusin Cobb, Apollo, and Neith. Assassin, Bastet, Thanatos, Hunbats, maybe Mercury. Guardian, Geb, Ymir, maybe Sobek, probably not. Athena's also a maybe. Athena, probably not. And Warriors, Sun Wukong, Tyr. Tyr is a first pick, first ban. Sun Wukong, Tyr, Nemesis, every warrior.
Yeah,
Warriors
true.
are just good. But if I need to whittle it down, it would be Sun Wukong and Tyr. Chop is very strong. Nemesis is very strong. Odin is very strong. Guan Yu is very strong. You know, you need those. So 14 is the minimum. I think you should not go into ranked until you have about 25.
So F-Dot's pretty much saying make sure that you have every god available to you before you go into ranked.
Except Hades.
Except Hades.
Except Hades and Anubis.
Oh my gosh. Gosh. All right, so let's grab another question here while we have time. And let's see here.
No love for Bakasura. I hate Bakasura. Absolute rev. I think Bakasura is disgusting. Yeah, Krett also paints a good picture.
What's that?
Mastery is like 5 wins per god.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take much. You know, trying to get all 50 before you play ranked isn't unreachable, but it might be asking a lot. Personally, you know, sometimes I get better games in casual than I do in the Bronze League, because I just started playing ranked. So I'm in the Bronze League, and like some of these dudes like build meditation and Chin's blade first item, and you're like, homie, why are you in my game? Like, what are you what is your thought process? And they're like, I don't have one, sir. And you say, I know. You know, like, you know, and at that point it becomes a different game, which is fun. You got to be a player coach, not just a player, and that's a whole other story for a whole other time. Sure. But you like, I don't know. You definitely be more familiar with ranked, because ranked people are going to get angry at you. I'm not that guy, but people are going to be angry at you. People, like, you know, I'm not endorsing, like, being a dirtbag, but at the end of the day, if you're, like, Elo is a faith-based system, and if you're not passionate about it, then it means absolutely nothing. So when I see somebody go in and they're like, "Oh, I'm just playing this game for fun. I don't care. I'm going to try something weird," then get out of my game. You're ruining the experience for 9 other players.
You should just be doing casual. I agree there.
Yeah, you're diluting the value of the Elo system, and you need to get out. And so people will be more aggressive with you in ranked, and that's the reality. So until you feel confident enough to when somebody's aggressive and you can respond, "I made the right choice," or "You're right, I overextended, I will fix that," until you've reached that point where you can recognize your mistakes and learn from them and fix them, or you're confident that what your choice was the correct choice, then my advice to you is to just not go to ranked and learn and master the new gods as you learn the game a little more.
Yeah, I like it. Another question here. The more I look into Smite and the more I see that it's more like other MOBAs, other than the fact that there are gods instead of other characters, what makes Smite different than other MOBAs? First off, other MOBAs, you don't really have... I won't say Smite is the first 3D mode, third dimensional MOBA, but I will say the big, it definitely stands out as being one of the larger ones out there. Compared to, your League of Legends and Dota 2, which are kind of your top-down bird's-eye view perspective. Another big thing about Smite, which sets it apart, is skill shots, which is huge. Skill shots. In Smite, I'm not clicking on an enemy god, then pressing 1, and it automatically fires my arrow, and it automatically hits F dot with your auto shots or even your skills. Like that doesn't happen. In Smite, if I see an enemy god approaching me, I need to line it up, and I need to fire the shot at the perfect timing in order to hit that person. So that's a big difference. I mean, some may argue there's more skill when it comes down to one game over another. A 2D, third dimension, versus 3D, and also with the skill shots. I personally love the skill shots. I think it's awesome. I do not like the fact of, click on somebody, hit this key, it automatically hits them no matter what. Just because, there's more of a challenge. There's a higher learning curve built in with it. It's more difficult, but I feel like that's what makes it more fun. What about you? How would you explain it?
It's actually interesting because I went to the bar last night, and I hung out with some of my friends that I haven't seen for a while, and so we did the how are you? How's the family? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And somebody was like, what do you do?
Okay.
And basically I do Smite right now. This is my passion, and I'm trying, I'm like doing the whole stream thing. I'm trying to make that my job for the moment.
Sure.
I want a future in broadcasting. So what I'm doing right now for High Res is really cool. It's a whatever. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I don't want to talk about, I'm not, contrary to popular belief, I'm not always the guy that talks about myself. So I just kind of I broadcast computer stuff, and my friends they are they play Dota and stuff. They're like nerds. I'm a nerd, and so my friend, he was like, what's Smite? And I had to explain it. What separates Smite, what I like about Smite is you mentioned the skill shots.
Yeah.
It's not isometric click to move, which is another F dot soapbox for another time. I've lamented the click to move model many times on first period in my own personal stream. But what I like most about Smite, and what I think is the coolest about Smite, is the third-person Unreal Engine. You can literally sneak up on someone. That's so cool. And that's really what separates it from the rest. The item system is, it's in depth where it needs to be, where you can have interesting counter build scenarios, but it's not over complex like some people say about Dota 2.
Yeah.
So it has its own, but the unique factor by far is the third-person environment, without a doubt. And at the end of the day, it's just fun to pilot a character in a three-dimensional environment. That's that's a quote from one of my game designer friends. And once upon a time, they had all these things online, like Habbo Hotel and these nonsense, stupid browser games, and I totally played them for a day because it's just fun to make a character move around a 3D world.
Sure,
You're like,
sure.
hey, it's me. Look at me. I'm in a world that doesn't exist. Ha ha ha. And now you can do it with like 4 people on your team and like strategy and da da da. It's just fun to pilot a character in a 3-dimensional environment. So.
No, bouncing off that question, I'm just thinking about it. Do you think you should have more freedom with the camera angles in the Smite?
No.
No, you like the static situation?
Yeah, I mean, there's just
not that I want like a first-person perspective, but what I mean is like right now we're kind of locked behind the god compared to being able to like swing around 360 with certain.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. That takes a lot of the, you know, like one of the beauties of what we have going on is that you can sneak up on somebody. One of the skills in playing Smite is you can't be pushed too far up because you don't have eyes in the back of your head. You know, all these sort of things. Like, so no, I 100% like that the camera is locked, and I think that's the way it should be.
Okay, sure. You want to pick another question?
Yeah, sure. Let's take a look at some
What do you
questions.
got? What do you got?
I mean, how do we feel about tournament seeding system? That's just how seeds work. Number 1 seed goes against the bottom seed. That's how seeding works all the time.
Yep.
Do you need a really good PC to play Smite? I have no idea.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay. You can have a computer within the last 5 years that was manufactured if you bought it from Dell or HP or whatever, and you can play Smite no problem. Smite's one of those games that has a versatility when it comes down to the graphics. And so we do have the option to go ahead and swap things around very, very easily. So like between low and like ultra high, the spectrum is huge. Like what the quality looks like. I personally have the luxury of playing the game on the top settings, and I love it. It looks great. But if you have a laptop or a desktop and it's within the last 5 years and it's not the best, you can still play Smite for sure.
Word. Let's see. I'm going to read this. Do you think it's fair that people who have a good following on Twitch get boned because they are not a pro player or have connections? I mean, some people get half the viewers of others and have sub buttons. That's like Twitch stuff. I don't, I don't necessarily think it's fair. Shout out to my man Fats, who's more than overdue.
Yeah, I agree.
Sub button than almost anybody in the community.
Yeah.
You know, that it's unfortunate. What is happening? Oh,
you're good.
You know, that's unfortunate, but you know, that's more Twitch than anything else is concerned. But what I wanted to answer was 2 questions. Sure. Any advice for support players that just started to play ranked? I'm often top elo on my team, and I know how to play support at a high level. So of course I would like to play support, but I noticed that in bronze I have to carry the game as a top elo player, but it's kind of hard to carry the game as a support. Play Sun Wukong, play Guan Yu, and build like a carry. At the end of the day, you're not going to have as much influence on the game as you would in the jungle role or even a mid role. But it can be done. You know, shout out to my man Jeff Hinla, platinum, like number 5 platinum or something. Routinely goes Sun Wukong, builds warrior tabby, chin size, gets a sovereignty when he has to, and like just beats people down. Like, it can be done. If you really, really want to win games, play jungle or mid. But it's definitely possible, plausible, and something you can do if you build the right way.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm gonna jump in here.
Whoa!
That's strong opinions about support and ranked.
Whoa, no. Why is this guy in? No, I don't like him. No, I don't like this guy. Get out.
Get right, nerd. Right, nerd. Support and ranked. Alright, so think of it this way, right? You go into a ranked game, and everyone's like, oh, I want mid, I want solo, I want jungle, and someone else is like, I want jungle, and this guy's like, I want ADC, and somebody has to give. You can't have 2 jungle. I mean, you can with the current meta, but shut up.
Yo, one sec, Krett, turn down your mic. You're like blaring right now. I can't even adjust it. I can't even adjust it.
Just excited.
I know.
He had a
unless it's set.
No idea.
You know what? It might be set on a different mic too. Go to File and then go to Preferences.
No,
audio. It might be on your webcam mic or something.
That would be weird file preferences.
You
And
think
then
of
audio.
high ice shanking?
You're
That would
you're
be
just
very
like
professional.
crazy loud right now, and like sounds like you're like using a webcam mic. So that's why I say that. Now you
Yeah,
might
Krett
be.
like bounced me out of my own box. He comes through. He makes a troll face in my box.
He
Like,
did. That was pretty good. Everybody in chat's like, "Who's this creepy guy that's right now in F-Dot's box?" It was pretty good.
There we go.
So-
There we go. You can actually turn yourself up now. You're actually like super quiet.
Is Krett on screen at the moment? Is Krett on
He
screen?
will be on screen in like 2 seconds.
Okay, sweet. Look at his mustache. While he was casting today for the SmiteTube tournament, one of the better comments I've ever seen come out of Smite game was, if Krett and Hitler kissed, their mustaches would not touch.
It's true.
That is awesome.
Right here below your nose. is
Wow,
called
look
a
at that, look at
philtrum,
that.
And
Oh.
some people don't grow hair there. And
Yeah,
I'm one of
you
those
gonna
people.
shave that, bro?
What is it called?
You gonna
What is it
shave
called?
that, bro?
It's called a philtrum.
A
The
filter.
thing, the
Yeah.
dimple of your nose is a philtrum, and I don't grow hair there.
I think it's a better look, to be frank. I like it.
Yeah,
look-
no, I like it too.
You look like a stud. You look like a stud. You look so
But
distinguished.
So as I was saying, right, we're in ranked. Everyone calls the roles, and no one wants to be the support.
Yeah.
They're gonna be uncomfortable. It's a role they don't play. But when you get to the higher ranked games, and people are actually good, you're good at mid, you're good at hunter. When you have a player who wants to be support, when they're good at support, they're going to carry the game by virtue
Yes.
of the fact that they're good and the other support isn't,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
care about the role.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you on that, and that's really why support was always a fun role for me to play in casual, but I basically am just scumbag jungle. When I started to play ranked, and my support built beads meditation and no sovereignty, I started to say, hey, let me try this out. And like Krett said, when you care and you're better than the enemy support, that means you're going to get more objectives. That means you're going to have a better build.
Sure.
That means you're going to be able to initiate better than them. And that can support sets the pace. If mid and jungle carries the game, support sets the pace of the game and can really, indoctrine a good mindset into the rest of your team. If you're interested in being a player coach, playing as support is one of the better roles you can do that from. And I absolutely love playing support in a competitive ranked environment. And I implore people that like the role to stick to it. You will not be
That's
able to
right.
carry
That's
the-
right. Right here. Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You will not be able to carry the game as
Yes.
hard as a 20-0 Thanatos will,
Yep.
but you can influence the game into a lot of solid directions, and you'll be surprised just how strong a good support can be.
I love how.
One of the best examples of
go ahead.
this is the fire giant. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you're better than the other support,
Yep.
you're probably going to take fire giant from them in every scenario.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that's a really, really good point. I like it. I like it. All right. Took me a second to update the overlay, but we're good to go now. You're no longer Cooper. You're now Krett, so we're set. Ready to go.
Yeah, support's very underrated.
Yeah,
Kodiak and
It is.
Kodalik or whatever the hell your name is, and Krett illustrated it perfectly. Like if you're better than the enemy support, you're probably going to win.
Yeah, for sure. F. Pick another question, bro.
Okay. Let's see. Let's click on this. Let's see. I'm gonna say this because of Krett. So you talked about characters you should master before going into ranked, and you didn't mention Nuwa. She's not that good? Question mark. She's not that good. No, realistically. so I like to troll Krett and my man FG3000.
Okay.
They really like Nuwa. Nuwa is a Nuwa. This is gonna be funny. Nuwa has a lot of nuances, and you need to nail all of her little intricacies in order to play her as well as any other god. Like she is a she's decent to good in the right hands, pressing all the buttons at the right times. But unfortunately, the trade-off for the amount of skill you need doesn't always work. You don't always get what you want out of her. And her role is rather niche. She can play mid, she can play solo. She's very much disruption until she gets to the point where you can just murder people with a couple of basics. So the reason I didn't mention her was I mentioned a lot of the broad strokes, like Thanatos is good 100% of the time. Sun Wukong is good virtually 100% of the time. And I want to hear Krett's opinion on this. So gods like Bakasura and gods like Nuwa, gods like Bacchus are very team comp dependent, and not as broad as some of the other choices. Like I said, like Gab is always good. Thanatos is always.
So it's like
good.
it's like a
Bot
B
is
team
always
style.
good.
It's like your B team. I feel like if you were to look at
Well,
it,
it's
they're
not
like
even
B team players.
It's more like it's it's more.
Oh god, other examples. So Thor, a while ago. Actually, Poseidon. Poseidon's a great example.
Yeah.
I don't think Poseidon got substantially buffed.
We went down again.
Yeah.
No, I just reset it. We're good. You can keep talking.
Okay,
Come back
okay.
up. You're good.
So Poseidon got buffed. He didn't get any better in terms of damage. He just got faster with his move speed, but people were first picking him.
Yeah.
That's probably
Yeah.
not Poseidon being better than he was. That's probably people were playing him because people forgot how to counter him. They've forgotten that you can just buy Aegis, and maybe it's the meta not allowing people to buy Aegis or whatever. But you got to think part of it is people just haven't been used to playing Poseidon. They're realizing, hey, he does still bring a fair amount to the table. His rotations are very strong. He can do great damage with Trident in the late game. He can absolutely wreck team fights with his Whirlpool, with his Kraken, and he's always been able to do that. He just was unpopular. Same with Isis.
No,
Yeah,
that's a good
I
point.
think he
Yeah.
did get a buff, but it's
Yeah.
immune to tier, the buff.
Pretty much, and I love what Krett brings up, and I always call it the ebb and flow of the meta.
Okay.
Sometimes it has a kit, and I'm just messing around. It is what it is. But the ebb and flow of the meta. So sometimes characters get played a lot more or a lot less because their numbers or mechanics have been buffed or nerfed, and then sometimes other characters get played because of indirect buffs or nerfs, and I think Poseidon is one of the, with the advent and the rise of sprint, there is no Beads Aegis used to be standard across the board for a while. Like everybody just had Beads Aegis, and so people would be like, "Hey, should I play Poseidon?" And I'd be like, "No, you're stupid. All it takes is one button. You press F, and Poseidon is completely useless now." You know what I'm saying? Because he's just the burst from Whirlpool Kraken, essentially. Now that sprint is so prevalent, and it's basically beads and sprint,
Yeah.
Aegis isn't around as much. So all of a sudden, Kraken can't be countered by pressing your F button. So there's that. But I also think the Poseidon rise of play is more just the real ebb and flow. Like sometimes people just realize he's fun. Poolsidon came out.
Yeah.
Like Mace of the Face and MLC Stealth played him once or twice, and every nerd with a computer started playing Poseidon. And then, DJ took him in the jungle in a tournament, and now every nerd plays Poseidon jungle. Like, it's just, sometimes things happen because of numbers, and sometimes things just sort of happen because they're popular, like skinny ties.
What is with the arms? What is with the arms there? What is that? What is that?
That's also
the ebb and
popular.
flow.
That's just happening because it's popular.
Yeah.
It's the ebb and flow.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. The
But the
visualization.
other thing is, I don't fully buy the sprint in Aegis is out thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because have you ever tried to hit someone who's sprinting with a Kraken? Like, good luck.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
You drop because the combo is Whirlpool Kraken. You drop your Whirlpool and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Mhm.
well, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
There
well,
goes my plan.
well,
Like-
at the end of the day, you have other methods of doing that. You could
Yeah.
knock them back into the Kraken, which is probably one of the,
Yeah.
I know you love the title push into the Kraken.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, you drop the Whirlpool, you anticipate, if you're not a terrible player, that they're going to sprint out and run away.
Yeah.
You Kraken in front of them so
Yep.
they get hit by it. There are
Yeah.
there are plays to make around that if you're not terrible.
But
But at the end of the day,
sprint
like,
is still a mitigating factor against.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Sprint is a mitigating factor, but it's not a complete counter like Aegis is.
Yeah.
It's not like Aegis is to Poseidon as Beads is to Ares.
Well, and
Like,
the other thing is,
That is true.
I think every so often, actives more than any other item, they get introduced and they get misunderstood.
yes.
Like Fender went out when roughly at the same time as the active rework, right?
Mhm.
So we
Yes.
got
Yep.
new actives, like Aegis split between Pendant and Aegis Amulet. And part of it was people thought Aegis Amulet would be too OP against Fender, right? Because you're thinking, oh, well, you can Aegis out of CC, so the moment you picks it up, you just Aegis.
Yep.
Right? You know what happens when you use an Aegis Amulet in Fender's mouth? He keeps carrying you, and it's
not
really
Beads.
funny.
It's hilarious. You're like gold, and he's like,
Nom
It's
noms,
so
nom
good.
noms. So,
good.
another question here, just kind of talking about that type of stuff, is who's your favorite Smite player, regardless of skill? So let's look at our competitive players here, going and F. You can't say Jeff Hindola. So
He's got one player. Like.
That's right. He's not one player. He's the whole team. Yeah, taking a look. Well, let's narrow it down to the 8 teams that are going to the launch tournament. Pick one player, regardless of their skill, whatever, that you guys are most, enjoying. That you
I'll keep it low, but I'm not picking one player.
Oh, fine, okay. You always play the political route. I hate
Wait,
you.
but it's regardless of their.
No,
skill.
I don't. Wait, stop. 1 sec. I do not play the political route. I have the biggest, trashiest mouth in the Smite scene, give or take. Okay, I am real. At the end of the day, there's just a lot of cool players to watch. Stream,
Okay.
so.
Okay. Good political
Krett,
answer.
go first.
Good political answer. What do you
All
got?
right. So
I
we can
hate
pick
you
one
so-
player. We can pick one player regardless of their skill. Like we're not picking the player we think is the best. Like if they suck, it's fine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Pain, obviously.
Okay.
That's a joke. It was like a Pain feed joke. I think I gotta go with.
I love the
Spoo.
laugh. Okay. Now, why is that? Any
I
reason
think
specific?
Spoo is a fantastically strong player. He's able to play both niche picks and mainline picks at an incredible level of play.
Okay.
And maybe not right now because Coast is, I think, rather clearly the 4th seed in EU.
Yeah.
He was, in my opinion, the best shot caller in Smite back when international tournaments were the norm.
Okay.
Back with Copenhagen Wolves. And like he was the European Zapman, and in my personal opinion, he was probably the most impressive shot caller. And I want to see that back, and it's gonna happen. It just needs time. That's me.
Okay. What about you, F.
Or Badger because he trolled us all with Poe. That wasn't me.
Yeah, actually, we have to mention that real quick for those of
Okay.
you that don't know the history. And Krett's probably a better person to say this, but basically, Badger was a pro player on Bipolar Method.
Copenhagen
Yes,
Wolves.
I was right. Okay,
Okay.
so all right, I forgot that Copenhagen Wolves had a Smite team. Anyway,
For a brief stint.
yeah. Anyway, so Badger was a player on Bipolar Method and Copenhagen Wolves. He was familiar with the competitive scene, very good, and then he just disappeared. And then SK Gaming, or whatever it was called beforehand, had the support player Poang. He played for like a year plus, and then like a week before the tournament, surprise! I'm actually Badger. Oh. like it was pretty ridiculous, but I have to go with, as far as like streams are concerned.
Okay.
I really enjoy, it's a cross between Allied and Shadow Q.
Okay.
Allied's funny because we're both dudes from New York that have similar like mindsets, and Allied is just like he when he gets mad, It's really funny the way he gets mad. Shadow Q is the other side of the coin, and I'm kind of cheating because he's very similar to Jeff Hindler in this regard. But he plays support, he calls shots really well. He very much player coaches when he plays, and like when he points out mistakes, it's hilarious. So actually, it's funny. Like we both say hilarious way too much, and one of the things Shadow Q does is he'll like be completely out of position, and the enemy hunter will find him, and he'll just dodge the enemy hunter's basic attacks for 20 minutes because it's hilarious. And like he'll just sit there and be like, "Yeah, this is definitely the wrong play. They're gonna rotate on me, but this is hilarious." Like, and that's just funny as hell to me. Shadow Q, and at the end of the day, you do learn a lot from Shadow. Shadow Q, he is very informative while at the same time having fun with the game. When he has a horrible game, everybody gets frustrated, but he does so very like classy. He very much looks at it as a realist and says like, that was unfortunate. Our niece didn't exist because she built like Frostbound Hammer. But that's going to happen, and we'll move on to the next game. And then he boots up the Bashi, and that's all he plays is Bashi in between queues.
Nice.
And it is, it's hilarious. It's a game that's like
It's actually
incredibly
the source
difficult.
Of his power.
That's the source of his power, right?
Yeah.
It's
He's gonna have
incredibly
trouble,
difficult.
man. Nobashi.
No Bashi in between games.
Right. For me, it's you guys definitely talked about streamers and I guess players wise. Player for me, I'd have to say Trix Tanks. Tricks Tank for sure. Reason being is just because the fact that like I love his Odin play. I really like his Sun Wukong play as well. So
I'm
he's definitely.
excited that you said Tricks Tank.
Why are you excited,
Yeah,
bro?
I like that.
Because he's good, and
Oh, for sure.
I feel like you don't like good players.
Oh, well, thanks. You just stick with your Jeff Hindela support, all right? All right. We're going to see which one wins it out here next week, all right? We'll see. But then on the streamer side players, I'd have to say Zapman. I enjoy watching him. He's funny. He can be rather entertaining, but he is really, he's definitely a really good player for sure. But he's definitely entertaining from a stream perspective. Let's look at another question. Let's take a few more questions here.
Real quick, while you look for another question,
sure.
I want to touch on Zapman. I like Zapman for the same reason he gets a decent amount of hate.
Okay.
People trash on Zapman because he gets aggravated and he voices his opinion on stream.
That's fine. It's perfect.
I always say, Elo is a faith-based system, and if you don't care, then get out. And I like to see that passion in my professional players. I like to see you get mad when something stupid happens, and a lot of people complain about that. And the catch-all phrase is BM. Well, get out. I like it. It's fun. It's passionate. That's what this game is about. And if you don't get angry, you don't matter. That's my controversial statement of the night.
Shadow Q, like.
What happened?
You're BMing Shadow Q. He doesn't get angry.
F Dot is Mexican. He eats Taco Bell. What?
Yes! Yes! Oh, I love chat. You guys are awesome. That's right. Put him in his place. So here's a good question. Throw it to Krett first. What gods do you think will be banned the most at the launch tournament?
Chalk.
Chalk?
Chalk and Zeus.
Okay.
Zeus because no one wants to deal with Zeus, and Chalk because people are realizing how stupidly strong he is.
Yep.
Yeah, they are. Chalk means a thing.
And then, you know what? I'm going to add another angle to this question. So we've got, like, the other end. What's the god that you expect to be banned that you wouldn't expect to be banned? Like, what surprise ban? And an example of this is the Aphrodite ban that happened at PAX.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
And mine's going to be Zhonghui.
Okay.
I think someone's going to come out with Zhonghui, be like, he's just as good as he was, wreck all the way through first few games, losers bracket, whatever, and then you're going to see the Zhonghui ban.
Do you think we're going to see some, like, unique twist of bans coming mid-tournament? Because think of it, when the tournament first starts out, your beginning of the tournament bans, I think, will be quite different than mid-tournament as the NA and EU metas start to collide, and we start to see, like, wow, like, EU side, Bakasur is ridiculous in jungle, the way they're playing him versus NA. Like, I was just thinking about that, like, just the way that bans may evolve throughout the tournament.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think to some extent that's already happened.
That's true. That's true. It's not like they haven't played at all against each other yet. I guess that's true though.
Surprise ban Poseidon. I could see Poseidon being banned in a very particular set of circumstances, and I'm going to have to agree with Krett with Zhonghui. That's something that Krett and I have been saying since the actual patch day, that Zhonghui's still just as damn strong, you just don't build CDR. Like, boom, done. He still has the same ultimate as Hunbat's, except he can move, it does damage, and if you buy Gem of ISO, everyone's slowed. Like, it's still powerful as hell for disruption. And he's still good. But I think Poseidon would be my surprise ban. Ra is an acceptable ban, something that's slightly unstandard but standard. So I'm gonna go with Poseidon as my surprise ban. And what was the original question? What do we not expect to see banned, or?
Who do you expect, and who do you think is going to be a surprise? So we had already talked about how, like, was Zeus being in there?
Yeah, Zeus definitely. Thanatos most likely banned. Zeus and Thanatos will definitely be banned, and then the other two bans will be respect bans, in my opinion. I think you're going to see a lot of targeted bans in the 300K.
Yeah, for sure.
I would love to see 3 bans per team, even though it's a pipe dream.
Yep.
I know Krett hates the idea of 3 bans per team. He wants nothing to do with 3 bans per team.
Please, I want 3 bans. But I don't want regular 3 bans.
Okay.
Oh, really? Do you want something else, Krett?
Yeah, right.
I want Dota bans. I want A, B, so ban, pick,
okay.
ban. and then you do the rest of the picks.
Huh.
I
So
think
you
that's
get your
so much
bans
more
through the picking stage. So that's
yeah,
kind of unique.
so the way
Yeah.
Dota works is you have 5 bans, 5 picks.
Okay.
And it's 2 bans per team, 2 picks per team, 2 bans per team, 2 picks per team, 1
Okay.
ban, 1 pick.
Wow. That would
And
be
that-
wow.
That's really cool, right?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely throws
It's
a
hard.
curveball in the plans.
It's very
Yeah,
hard, but it's
yeah.
really cool because you could be like, okay, well they've got Odin, now I'm gonna ban out Zeus,
Mm-hmm.
or you know they've got on her. I have Neith. I don't want to give them on her Odin because that wrecks Neith. Whatever. It's you can throw wrenches into the enemy's team comp midway through.
Yeah.
And then the Smite the pick and ban phase in Smite is already a very strategic part of the game. I think a lot of people I think a lot of higher level teams did that, but I really think Dignitas was the strongest at first when it came to playing the picks and bans game. They really I don't want to say revolutionized it because everybody knows how to do it, but they wouldn't ban Zeus, the typical bans.
Okay.
They'd be like, all right, we're playing against somebody that's great with Thanatos and the baby. We'll ban those 2 dudes, and they'd be like, why would you ban them? And then they win the game. And a lot of teams have since adjusted, and all the competitive teams do it now. But and so it is complex. But what Krett brings to the table would be absolutely fantastic to see. And you would definitely get even more strategy. So I'm
Yeah.
a strategy nerd. I love strategy nerd. I love strategy.
It was interesting. I was just talking about like bans and picks. I've always viewed the ban and pick stage as its own little mini game, which it really is. It really takes strategy. It takes a lot of planning. I mean, a lot of teams do their homework on the other teams. What gods do these people play the most? What god? And stuff like that in order to set things up. And I was on. Some of you guys in chat may know the Dead Workers podcast, which is another group of guys. Oh my God, what are you hammering your keyboard over there? Quite down there, Krett.
No.
It's all good. Dead Workers podcast is another Smite podcast out there. I was on it the other day, and one of the guys, I hate you. One of the guys was adamant about. All right, so I muted them so they can't hear. They can't. I know they're all muted, but I can talk now, so it's all good. So, anyways, one of the guys on the show was very adamant in saying he doesn't like bans and picks in the game, and he thinks they should completely remove it. And I completely disagreed. I'll unmute them now because they're good gentlemen. But I completely disagreed.
I can unmute myself.
I completely disagreed because I felt that there's so much strategy in it, and he was very much under the assumption it was very much a casual player, but. I kind of said, it adds a whole other strategy to the game, especially at a competitive level. And I love it. I love the bans and pick stage because, a ban goes out, whatever, and then a pick goes out, and everyone's like, oh, you can't believe they picked it, or you let Barracuda get Apollo, how dare you, stuff like that. So I'm hyped for the bans and picks at the tournament, to really see them up on a big screen, everybody get to watch them as they're going on. I think it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
And sometimes you just have to ban release Jean-Qui.
Yes.
Yep. There are, back when when Jean-Qui was really strong, I was playing competitive, and one of the members of my team was like, maybe we should just learn to play a good Jean-Qui. We can't ban him every game. And it's like, no, I think we just need to ban him.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
Dig did and continues to do that with Zeus. Dignitas doesn't ban Zeus every game. They've worked around him, and they don't win every game against Zeus, but they do win against Zeus. Actually, can we? I don't think we might be able to find numbers on that, Krett. Can we, with the tools that we're given?
You may be able to. I can't, but you guys might be able to.
No. Krett and I have a thing.
Have a thing.
I don't know the numbers, but Dignitas doesn't. I know that they don't traditionally ban Zeus, or they haven't in the past, and they performed decently well against him. So there are characters that you can work around, but release Jean-Qui, you gotta ban that dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. That'd be cool. All right, now let's take another question here. In the meantime, if you guys find the info, great.
Sure.
Let's see.
Let's see. If Krett's, I like this one a lot.
Okay.
If Krett's Anubis got into a fight with F.Dot's Hercules, who would win?
Wow.
He's got a big rock.
Divine Ruin.
That's right.
Oh man, but and I'll build Magi's Blessing.
Just
and
mummify and combat blink. Mummify and combat blink. That's all you need.
No, I just use
Mummify
beasts
and
to
run.
reset. It's Anubis is very hard to play, and it's very hard to deal with Magi's Blessing, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, and then but I could just like flip you into my tower and like kill you with a rock. Hercules is just better than Anubis, basically. It's
all
okay.
good. So I like this question here. I don't know why. I don't think I do. How can I grow hair like Octane? I don't think my hair is like anything crazy. If there's sarcasm there, and that was your question, really? Why? That's awesome.
Good slain, Octane nerd.
I just got my hair cut because it was way too long. It's like really short.
It looks
now.
good. I got
really
my hair
short.
cut as well.
Yeah, I got it cut Friday. I went to the salon, got it done up. Usually I go to the barber, but I went to the salon this time. I was like, gotta go big, gotta go big.
I went to my barber. My barber is actually really cool. I've been going to him for a number of years, probably like 6 years.
Okay.
His name is Igor.
Oh my god.
He's from Russia. He looks like Hitman. He's very skinny,
man.
bald head, sunken face, and he does have a interesting history that's not always following the law. And he always has a cool story to tell me about doing illicit activities in Russia. And then what happened was he moved to America and completely left that life behind him. Okay. He has a wife and kids. He babysits and he cuts hair.
Wow.
He is an ex-Russian mobster that is a nice guy now.
With a name like that, I would imagine.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
He's Igor, and he looks exactly like Hitman. I'm going to take a picture next time because he looks exactly like his history would make you think he looks. And now he cuts hair, and I told him I got a haircut today. He's like, "What are you doing?" I told him what was going on this week. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to make you look good. You're going to look cool." And he's kind of he's just the man. He's just the man.
That's awesome. Let's see, another question here. That's a good question. I won't go through the whole question. The guy says he's new at ranked. He plays support gods, but he finds that he notices he's in bronze, but he notices that he always seems to be carrying the team as he always ends up being top elo player. But he says it's kind of hard to carry a game as a support. What do you recommend? I mean, you can't change you can't change the way other people are playing.
I recommend not repeating questions.
Here's the thing.
I hate
Efta actually asked me this when he started playing League.
Ah,
he
nice.
Said, man, I love playing support in ranks, but carrying bronze as support is very hard. And I said, why are you playing support? It's bronze. Play mid so your mid doesn't feed, or play jungle so you can make their mid feed. Yeah. And learn one of those two roles, and then play support once you get into the real ranked game.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Bronze is... It's not actually Bronze League. It's Cardboard.
Wood.
Cardboard. Yeah. Wood League.
Cardboard.
That's right. I like card. That's below wood. Yeah, cardboard, wood.
Silver is wood.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, no, I said
gold
before.
Is brass.
I've said it before. I've gotten better. I get better games in casual than I do in my Bronze League games at the moment. I have when I play casual, sure, sometimes I get matched up with new players on auto buy, and the mindset's very different, and I immediately turn into Mark Jackson and start to coach these people. But when it comes to ranked, most of the time when I play casual, everybody calls stuff in the lobby, this, that, and third, we get in. There might be some wonky builds, but that's what casual is about. When I play Bronze League, dude, man, I've gotten Meditation Bakasura on my team in bronze. What are you doing? What do you have a game plan, and where can I find it so I can delete it? I don't understand. How are you shouldn't play ranked if you're learning the game. You should just be playing casuals. And I'm not knocking on that player's skill, although I definitely am. It's just where he's applying his lack of skill. If you do that in a casual game, that's what that's for. You learn, you get better. You learn that it would be much when you die 7 times to Anubis because you have meditation instead of beads. All right, you learn. Don't learn in my ranked games. Don't do it.
Another question here, kind of interesting. If I wanted to switch the meta a bit and play a mage as support, who would be the best for that? I'm going to say Ra. if you really want to try that out, I mean, if you go back a while back, you used to say, used to see Ra kind of building a little bit. You'd almost see like that support tanky style Ra that was more there to let
cap with breastplate.
Yep, exactly. That's who I would recommend. What about you guys?
I would recommend, if you're doing that, play in a pre-made with your friends. Because
Okay. That makes sense.
if you're in any situation where you're actually trying to win, there isn't a problem with playing a mage in the support role. Like, not intrinsically. It's not that they can't do it, but there are meta problems. You're not going to have Hand of the Gods 3, and even if you do, you're not going to be good at hogging objectives like the Fire Giant or tanking objectives like the Fire Giant. You're not particularly tanking. You don't provide a front line for your team. You're necessarily initiation. When you go for the mid camps, you're going to have a harder time escaping. There are reasons that we play the characters in support that we play in support, and if you want to change it up, that's fine. But to some extent, if you're playing with other players, you're effectively trolling them by not doing your job when you call support.
Sure.
Well,
sure.
Here's when I feel like the casual queue, like if you can't get 4 friends to play in a pre-made, I think like the casual queue is totally fine for that. You might piss 4 people off, but as long as you aren't intentionally trying to lose the game, if you're doing something unconventional in the casual queue, like go for it. Somebody and if like when I do stuff like that all the time, that's why I prefer the casual queue, because I like to do weird things like Anubis jungle.
Sure.
And like I'm not gonna say jungle Anubis lock. I'll do it and I'll gauge just how mad these dudes are. Like if 3 guys are like Anubis jungle, wow, and then one guy's like, wow, what an idiot, we lose. Like I'm gonna lock in. Like that's funny.
Yeah.
But if like I say Anubis jungle and 4 people are like, oh my, get me out, we lose, F10 at 6, I'm done. All right, fine, chill. I won't do that. All right, I get it. But I think the casual queue is totally fine for stuff like that. You're going to have more success if you do it in the pre-made queue, just because communication wins games, etc. But I like Zhonghui support when he was released and his ultimate healed your team. Zhonghui support was real. Real might be pushing it, but Jean Kui support was like a thing. My buddy John Kui is, he's got a slow, he's got a stun, he's naturally tanky when he eats. His ultimate can provide a lot of like, disruption and a lot of panic on the enemy team. But, since his ultimate doesn't heal the team anymore, you don't see him as prevalent. I think John Kui support and ISIS support are the 2 mages. Of course, we're ignoring Aphrodite, who's actually a support. Just a bad one. But I think John Kui and I think ISIS are the 2 mages that you could really work with support. Agni less so, but it's doable. Those would be the ones that I would have fun with, especially since you roam a lot more. Agni support is like a really like European style pick, like just stun and then leave. But John Kui and ISIS actually, I could see some sort of merit to that. But at the end of the day, Sun Wukong is just better.
And here's the thing: the reason I answered the way I did is because the question said change the meta. Right?
That's true.
Okay, I didn't think about that.
So I feel like that means you're trying to make something real. And if you're trying to make something real and you're trying to change the meta, it means you're trying to make it work, like holistically work. And it doesn't with the current meta. If you're trying to have fun and do whatever, then, like, I've been going hard in the paint with Ullr Bruiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, Bruiser.
Ullr? You gonna call him Ullr? Did you watch Breaking Bad? Okay. Ullr was a character. That's silly. Ullr was a great character.
Why? They're dumb.
You're silly. Ullr was a funny character. He was a bodyguard, and he was like one of these like 700-pound dudes, and he was just like really big and like just had these funny one-liners and like that. You should Google it. I see you Googling it. Keep Googling it. Ullr is a funny guy. Well, you should. I know you are. Don't lie to me, Krett.
I'm typing it.
I'm F10ing at 6 right now.
That's right.
So with respects to the changing of the meta, which I totally ignored, Krett and I had the pleasure of calling the games for the Tier Monster Code Green tournament this weekend, and what are you giggling about, Krett? Oh, okay, you're muted. But anyway, we had the pleasure of calling the games for Tier Monster this weekend, and try honest. What the hell is it? Shotgun Divorce played support Bakasura, and the trade-off was they had an Odin jungle.
Gaga.
They had an Odin jungle. If you can put your peel elsewhere, whether it's the jungle or the solo lane,
Yeah.
an untraditional support that doesn't have a lot of peel can work out. But at the end of the day, you do need somebody tanky to be your front line, and even if you build tanky, Isis just isn't gonna be a tank. Like she doesn't have the natural stats. She doesn't scale.
I disagree.
Like so big.
I disagree.
Okay.
Because of Isis's kit, I think she is effectively a tank to some respect. She reduces the damage the team takes by 15%. Her silence steals protections and applies them to everyone within her Funeral Rites aura, and Shell is a damn good item on Isis for the same reason as the above.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Literally a tank, but
Yeah.
she turns the team into a tank, and this is... Isis was the counterpick to Zhonghui when...
Well, John Kerry was
really
ridiculous.
Ran Zhonghui and people ran Isis.
Yeah.
And
Well,
eventually nobody ran Isis because you just died to tier. But when you ran both of them at the same time, Isis was amazing against Zhonghui because he goes in and ults her team and you're just like, well, that would be cute if it did damage.
Yeah. No, so yeah, but like I said, you need the peel and the initiate elsewhere.
Yeah.
If you really like want to make it work. But Krett does bring up a good point with Isis's kit, so egg on my face. But no, like like John Quee and stuff. You just needed an initiate, and that's what mages lack, so you need it elsewhere.
So let's go ahead and take one more question, then we'll end out the show here. We are just over 3 hours, so yeah. You staying alive there, F-Dot? You good? You good? You gonna make it?
I just looked at my watch. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, the Knicks game. One question. Let's go.
Let's go. One question.
Knicks have won every game since Lil Boozy got out of jail. I'm just saying, correlation is causation. Free Boozy. Woo!
All right. Whatever that was about. All right.
Yeah. Sports. Put the thing in the goal.
Esports. Esports.
Let's see.
Yo! T-shirts under blazers.
T-shirts under blazers. Esports.
Yeah, screw you guys. Screw you guys. You guys are mocking me there, I assume, correct?
No.
Yeah, F-Dot. Liar.
We're mocking chat.
Okay. Because you realize I was one of the first guys in the scene to wear a blazer when streaming.
No,
F-Dot went away? Where'd he go, F-Dot?
yeah,
Where'd he
he's
go?
done.
He's done. That's right.
He doesn't like T-shirts under
I
blazers.
know. I like it. I like it. I come from the StarCraft 2 scene though, and they still wear that sometimes. Let's see. You guys are horrible. They're out. They're out. GG. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. What is that song? I need to find it. I need to find it. So we'll take one more question here. Trying to find one more. All right, I found a question here. Question. Thanks, F-Dot. Appreciate it, man. You look good, bro. You look good. You look good. Yeah, look at you. Look at you. You guys are the biggest trolls.
Do I look professional?
I like how you changed your shirt, too.
I'm ready for esports. Esports. Let's do it. Esports. Ah!
Question is.
I was going to, but my blazer's packed. So.
Yeah, there you go. That's a nice blazer there. I think my dad has one like that. That's good.
That's why it's not packed, because it's a piece of garbage. Like.
What got you into playing Smite or being a Smite content creator or caster? So I'll throw that over to you. What F-Dot, what got you into casting Smite?
Well, what got me? So yeah, I'll answer the first one as well. What got me into What got me into Smite was literally my friend trolled me and tricked me into playing a MOBA, and I downloaded it, and it was a MOBA, and I was mad. I played 2 games, and I definitely wasn't mad. I was super in love, and I spent $30. What got me into casting? So like, the literal what got me into casting was the
black on black, bro. Black on black, really.
we got Coach Kobe here.
I know.
But so what why I really wanted to cast was I really wanted to wear a t-shirt under a blazer.
Okay, that's good to know. That's a
but
good point.
No. So besides that, I just have a passion for broadcasting in general. I have a passion for strategy and sport competition. I'm a huge basketball nerd. I'm a huge baseball nerd. And when I say nerd, I mean it, Octane. I mean like the intricate stats. I mean the deeper storylines. I'm not just there for slam dunks and home runs, you know. And so Smite offers stuff like that as well, which is why I was so drawn to it.
Okay.
And I like to talk about these things. You know, I'm an avid poster on our NBA. I'm an avid poster on our baseball. And Smite subreddit doesn't have that level of conversation most of the time, but when it does, I'm an avid poster in those threads. Shout out to Peef Smash, or whatever the hell his name is on Reddit, for making a very in-depth post the other day that I loved. It was a good read. I didn't agree with it, and I was happy that I didn't agree with it because it opened up a conversation. But so I just like to talk about the deeper level of strategy, etc., stuff that goes on like that, and I like to translate that to the audience. Obviously, I talk a lot, and doing that as my job is pretty sweet. And then the literal how to like this, so that's what interests me. And yeah, I want to continue doing broadcasting past this, whether it's with esports, Smite specifically, or it's, you know, in traditional sports with basketball or something. I want to not necessarily do play-by-play color commentary like I do at the moment, but that would be cool. I love to be on the analysis desk or have a radio show even. But so what literally got me the gig was basically DM Brandon made a Reddit post and was like, hey, who wants to cast? And I was like, I do. And a bunch of the Tier Monster nerds that support me, that I love so much, just said, hey, dude, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's active. He likes sports, so maybe he'll be good. And DM did this like talent search type deal. I got to try out, and I didn't poop the bed. I did rather well, if I do say so myself.
Rather well.
Yeah, no. To be honest with you, like my first audition, everybody, like the community liked me more than they disliked me. But if you go back and you watch those old VODs, I sound like I'm announcing wrestling. It is ridiculous. It is so over the top. Get out. It's so silly, and like, you know, part of that is, yeah, esports tends to be like that, you know, and I wanted to like emulate that a little bit, but you know, baby's first broadcast, like I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Baby's first broadcast.
Yeah, and like I think I myself have helped myself mature as a broadcaster, and working with somebody like Krett, you know, we've both helped each other mature, and I don't think we're like the best by any means, but we've come a long way, and I think we're pretty damn good. So, you know, like it's a learning process, and we're learning, but that's why I'm interested, and that's what got me the gig. So
all right, cool. Krett, what got you into Smite, and then what got you into casting?
What got me into Smite? Well, God, how long ago was Smite out? I started playing in July of 2012, I think.
So wow, so like early alpha?
Right.
Okay.
Right before Bakasura came out.
Oh, okay.
I played a few games. I played maybe 10 games. I didn't really have any friends who played the game. And I was like, this game's garbage, and then I quit. And then I came back in October.
Okay.
And I was like, this game has gotten a lot better. That was right after Freya came out.
Okay.
And I was just told Stream Monster is complete garbage, you know, the basics.
So like same thing as you are today, right?
Yeah,
right.
Not
and,
much
you
has
know,
changed.
the first streamer that I idolized was the Alpha, the Wig Beaner, which is not surprising. And then it was really cool. So I leveled up, hit max level, played some ranked, impressed a player named Eclipsium, joined his team.
There he is.
Played with him. We actually had Game Hunter and Flashwing as subs for our team, and we did
Just
really
subs.
well. Yeah, just subs. We did really well, but they're European, so practices were not gonna work.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go forward with that. Eventually, we just couldn't really find a full rush we liked, and I joined Borderland Gaming as a sub by way of the Wig Beaner, the Alpha.
Okay.
After Borderland Gaming, I'm giving my whole life story. I hopped teams. Eventually, I became friends with Team
Krett
Brandon.
behind the music.
Yeah, and I have a full documentary in the works. But eventually,
Awesome.
I became friends with DM Brandon. I was invited into the caster search. I didn't have to post on the Reddit thread. He was just like, I think you could do this. I'm going to put you in. I was actually the last person on the list. So saving the best for last, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
And it gave me a lot of time to prepare.
Okay.
And I really nailed it. I mean, I don't think it's really, you know, what he said the moment we got off the air was, "You killed it." And that
Me too. High
is
five.
shocking coming from Brandon.
Sure.
I've done
Yeah, give me the.
Yo,
what?
Yeah.
Actually, yo, I'll give a little bit of behind the scenes of my auditions. It was actually rather hilarious. So I get it, and Brandon, I didn't know Brandon, and Brandon didn't know me, and you know he gets in, and so first of all, somebody posted I posted like, hey, I want to do this, I think I'd be cool for these reasons, da, 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 da. And then a bunch of tier monster dudes were like, yeah, and then like one of these dudes is like, this dude's name is F Swag. He's obviously garbage. And, like, he got downvoted to hell, and DM Brandon responded to him like, yo, I don't see why they're downvoting him. He's got a great point. And so I actually get selected, and I think it was begrudgingly.
Yeah,
but
right.
so you know, I get in with Brandon, and we basically, like, he says, I didn't speak to him prior, so there was no, like, you know, chemistry or anything. It was just straight up. We get in. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm Brandon. We're going live. I was like, okay. Like, I've never done this.
Let's do it.
Like, yeah, like, you know, I've done a couple of tier monster things, but this is my first time in front of, like, there was like 8,000 people for the caster search. Like, it was a lot of heads in the audience. And so, like, I mean, I don't get nervous because I just don't care about anybody. Okay. But so
nice guy, F dot, nice guy.
But so you know, we do my thing, and like I said, I was very, like, I look at it and it was very obviously amateur, you know. But in juxtaposition to some of the other, you know, I did have, like, some sort of talent to be spoken of. And we get off the air, and he's like, yo, I hate you. I'm like, why? He's like, because your name is F Swag and you're so good. Like, he didn't say so good. He was like, you know, you did a great job. Why is your name Swag? I hate you. Like, he was so mad. He was so mad. It was so funny. And he's like, yeah, you got to change it. Like, I remember he was like, all right, how do I invite you? What's your in-game name? I was like, F Swag. He was like, all right. It was so
That's awesome.
Yeah. You know, he said something similar to me, like he said to Krett, like, you did a great job.
That's
but
good.
Your name is Swag. So,
well, you know what's funny about that is my original name was not Krett.
Oh, right.
I renamed my account.
What was it?
Because, well, you know, forever ago, my first account it was like Creedon or something, which is the full name. That's where I got Krett from.
Okay.
And then I was like, I'm gonna get the God Pack, but I've spent a fair amount of favor, and that didn't get refunded at the time.
Okay.
Right? So I was just like, well, I'll make a new account and buy the God Pack. I can level up. I don't want to waste the favor, whatever.
Okay.
And so I made a new account called Weed Unicorn 420. And that was my name all the way up through PAX East. I actually played in PAX East and was casted in games as Weed Unicorn 420 autoed for BLGNA. And I made Bart say that. And when I went, I hung out at the hotel. I couldn't stay for PAX East, but I hung out at the hotel beforehand. And I shook people's hand and said, hi, I'm Weed Unicorn 420. And I met Pon and Zapman and Anatoly.
Facepalm.
And Bart doing that. And Lionheart. And it was hilarious.
That's awesome.
But that's why
then I joined BLG, and they were like, all right, listen, you got to change your name. I'm glad I did. But as a casting pair, we definitely have the worst names. Or at least have had the worst names. F on Krett are fine.
Yeah.
So I can Weed Unicorn 420 would be
my god.
Yo, that'd be so good at the 200K. That's everybody's in, like, their Brooks Brothers suits, and it's like, all right, great news from DJ Pernicus and Adonis on the analyst. We're going to pass it over to our main stage casters, Weed Unicorn 420 and F Swaggity Yolo Lolo. Like, how'd you name it?
F Swag #selfie.
So Weed Unicorn 420. What are your instincts on this next match?
Oh my
well,
god.
#selfie. I think it's gonna be a great game. Like, oh my god.
Thank God you guys changed them though. Like, thank goodness.
But you know, DM Brennan does have the 1 in 20 rule. 1 in 20 players with weed in their name or any reference to weed in their name will be good.
Yeah. I actually played.
Probably.
Yeah. No, it's really funny. Like, I played World of Warcraft with an individual who, like, came intoxicated to raids, and dude, you know how many people I was the leader. I've kicked out so many people for just like being drunk or
Sure.
stoned and being bad. And this one dude, he's just like a really slow
Oh god.
Asian guy, and he would be like top DPS in the world when he would come intoxicated. So I was just like, dude, you just like have to you have to before you come to raid like that. So it is out there, but you know, Kretz was ironic if I'm not mistaken. I don't
Sure.
actually think he's a weed unicorn, but you know, he might be hiding a horn underneath that head.
That's
so, we
oh
don't
my
know.
god.
It's underneath
That's
the hair.
awesome. That's awesome. For me specifically, I got into Smite. I don't even know when, to be honest with you. Like, I don't remember when I started playing. I know I did start playing because I was getting burned out of StarCraft 2, and I needed something else. And I think I saw an advertisement or something for it. Picked up Smite. As for not necessarily into casting, but Smite content, I guess was the way the question was approached. Why or when did I get into it was just because of the fact that it was a niche area that the scene didn't really have yet. Demon Machine was definitely doing a show some time ago, weekly, that he had a lot of people on, and it was good. It was good. Good show without a doubt. But there wasn't, it didn't have the consistency anymore. It had fallen off. And I actually started the show right around the time that he was doing his, and thought it would be a good idea to kind of fill that niche because I thought the scene needed it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great the way that the scene is, but without like shows and stuff like that where you just get to voice your opinions and stuff like that, and different outlets for entertainment. So yeah, that's kind of when I did it. I realized the other day I started the Smite update. I mean, well, this one here, we're 44 shows in, but Dry Bear and I started the Smite update, I think like 2 weeks after he started playing Smite. So like,
Wow.
yeah, he was playing Smite on Twitch, and him and I got talking a little bit. I liked his personality, thought it would be really good for a show, and we started the Smite update.
Drybear's got a weird personality. I don't like
Yep,
that guy.
that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, him and I started it like 2 weeks. I mean, and I had been in the scene for a while
Can't do
before
this
then.
anymore.
But
I
yeah,
just can't do
it worked
this.
out well. It worked out
Can't
well.
do this. I feel myself turning into a turbo nerd, like wearing this blazer over my t-shirt. Like I feel myself downloading Dota. Like I can feel it happening. Like
How dare
my
you?
God.
How
I can
dare
feel
you?
the Dota in my soul. But yeah, Octane Pro, I do want to congratulate you on your 586th day playing Smite.
Oh wow, is that what? Would you look at my profile?
Yeah, I looked at your profile. You started on August 14th, 2012, and that's been 586 days. Good job.
Wow.
Keep going.
Wow,
That's
wow.
good.
Go for 600.
I know. I
14
feel.
days, 2 weeks. You can celebrate.
Is that a long
I've
time?
given you a stream theme.
Is that a long time now? I guess it's a pretty good amount of
600
time.
days?
Yeah.
I mean-
It's the amount of time since you woke up times 600.
Wow, thank you. I appreciate it.
Roughly.
You're so good at this, bro. You're so good at
That's
this.
why I'm an analyst.
that is why you say numbers and they sound nice, but at the end of the day, it's like, dude, what? Like if you actually think about 9 out of 10 things Krett says, he says nothing at all, and that's his talent. He really is able
It's
to. Just
really
say,
amazing. It's what casters do, really. They just- you come and you're like, yo, that guy just obliterated that guy, and now let me tell you this stuff that you already know.
Yeah, 100%. You see, you take a look at this. The slash line is
100%.
601. He had 6 kills and 1 assist. That's insane. Like,
No deaths. No deaths. I cannot believe it. Let's hand it over to the analyst desk, and this is Froyo Yo-Yo. Yo.
DJ Ryan Gosling.
What if
DJ
everyone
Ryan.
in-
Oh my gosh.
What if everyone in esports had Call of Duty names?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That would be
That'd
amazing.
so good.
Disaster. That'd be
And I'd
disaster.
make you pronounce
That would be a
the.
disaster.
I would
Nobody
make
be
you
able to do it.
pronounce XXX no scope 420XXX. And actually, it's funny. The X420 no scope was my account. I created a Smurf and forgot the password for it. Krett, before you got here, like I was trying to make a forum account, and I have like my main email, which is like my pro email, and then I have like my side email that I used to like give to Barnes and Noble when they ask for my
Yep.
info, and then like I have various other like S-word accounts that I don't do anything with, and apparently like my main account FSwag is created on like FSwag TV, which isn't even like my YouTube account. My YouTube account is like FSwag YT or something.
Yeah.
I have no idea. And so I typed in my like the account that I expected it to be, like UFice. I typed that in. That's my general garbage spam account, and it's like your account is X420 no scope. You're level 20 in tribes and have never played Smite.
Oh,
I was
why is it
like,
doing that?
oh.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, so let's go ahead and round out the show here. Almost 3 hours and 30 minutes, so pretty baller. Pretty baller.
God damn.
I know, long time. That's right. I blame you, dude. You just never shut up, so it's all good. All right. And that's why you're on the show. It's all good. So anyways, I appreciate you guys checking out the show today. Where can people check you out, Krett, when you're not on Smite Game?
When I'm not in Smite Game, I'm at Mom's house.
Mom's house. All right, good deal.
But you can also check me out on twitch.tv/Krettata, that's spelled out TUHTUH, and twitter.com/Krettata, but only if you like what I'm saying.
Thank you!
Because I'm louder on Twitter than I am in here.
I'm so upset that
All right.
Krett's plug is a thing of beauty. He says, if you like what you saw, please press the follow button below my face. And if you like what you heard, please follow me on twitter.com/Krettata.
It just came to me.
It's
It was
so good.
It
It's
was
so
a stroke
good.
of genius.
It really is. And I have my
I
own, which
actually
I'm going to...
converted to Christianity after I thought of that.
Oh, man. 420 blaze it, my friend.
That's
but
right.
the way...
That's right.
so
what about you, F.
for
Dot?
me-
What you got?
Oh, is that where you're going?
That's
I
right,
was
I'm
actually
going.
just going to shove my stuff in there anyway.
Wow.
You can find me every weekday morning. So, putting this out there, this next week I will be in Atlanta, so I'm not going to be doing much in the stream department.
Yeah.
But the week after that, it will be a return to normalcy, to use a historical quote. And you can find me every weekday morning on twitch.tv/tiermonster, 7 to 10 a.m. We call it first period. I drink my coffee, we play Smite, we talk Smite, sports, and everything in between. You can find me on my personal channel, twitch.tv/fswag, and you can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/f.swag. I also have various other social medias that you can see elsewhere. Follow me everywhere, just don't follow me home. Thank you.
Yeah.
We all have our own.
I do not, because I'm not lame like that. But anyways, I'll go ahead and post it in chat for you guys. You
I'm
can
gonna
check.
fight you at
That's
Path.
right.
Fight you.
That's fine.
I ain't lame.
You know what?
1v1 me.
You know what? I'll bring the pig grease for with Krett. You know, we'll go roll around with a ball
I've
pit.
jello wrestled before, and I'm not afraid to do it again.
Ooh.
I believe
Ooh.
that.
Why? Oh my god.
College?
Oh
Don't
my
tell me you
God.
haven't.
I have it. I have it. I have it. Anyways,
You haven't lived.
Anyways, you guys can check out more of the show on youtube.com/TheSmiteUpdate. That's where you can go ahead and find all the episodes. Back to episode 1 is on there, so if you guys want to go ahead and check it out, we're talking about Dry Bear on there. You can check out episode 1 of Dry Bear and myself on the show, as long as the previous shows. As well, you can check me out on my stream, twitch.tv/OctanePro, SCII. And also the same thing on Twitter would be awesome. Twitter.com/OctanePro, SCII. The show will not be on next Sunday, as all 3 of us will be down in Atlanta. So there will not be a show next Sunday at all. But the following Sunday will definitely be on, so make sure you guys come check us out. Furthermore, we will be having a permanent 3rd host joining the show. Fats will be joining us as a full-time 3rd host after...
Oh, real?
For real, look at Krett. Krett's
Why
all
don't
over-
I know these
Love
things?
that.
Why don't I know these things? Like, I'm an actual host of the show, and I don't know that we have a new host? Okay.
Anyways,
Well,
he'll
that's
be joining us.
funny.
He'll be joining us a week or 2 after the launch tournament. He's getting a few things squared away, and we'll be able to join us then. So it will be myself, F. Dot, and Fats, and I am going to put together a new overlay that includes a 4th guest. So when we do have guests on, like our man Krett here, we can go ahead and pop him in there a little bit as well. Special thanks to High.
Prep more often.
That's fine. We'll do it. We got it. It's not
Now
a
my
problem.
guests, you're not making me feel at home.
That's right. For the guy that I messaged, I'm like, dude, do you just want to come on the show? But he's like in chat the whole time, like, just want to come on.
I know the whole time. I had dinner with my family.
That's right. That was perfect.
He had to eat ham sandwich.
Oh, ham
no,
sandwich.
we had roast chicken, and it was amazing.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, special thanks to High Res Studios for allowing us to have the Smite update on their channel. There will not be another show after this. I will not be streaming. I am heading out. I need to get stuff packed up because I am heading down to Atlanta here as well and need to get my things together, spend a little time with the family. So this will be the end of the stream. Appreciate you guys coming out. Once again, thanks again. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.